Chapter 405. This is the Lake of the Water of Life? Just as he stepped within a kilometer of the lake, Xiaoping immediately felt a vast force descend from the void. It seemed to form a unique domain with tyrannical power. He instantly knew that the lake also contained a tyrannical array. If he wasn't careful, he would be completely obliterated by the nearby array. There's a stone tablet? Xiaoping immediately noticed a huge black stone tablet in front of him. He didn't know what it was made of, but there were a few ancient words engraved on it. 2 liters per person, more will result in divine retribution. These words appeared as if they were the words of gold and jade. In this domain they had an irresistible effect. It seemed that anyone who dared to violate them would suffer divine retribution. Xiaoping felt that these words contained a mysterious power. It was not a joke. It definitely had supreme power. His instincts warned him. Originally, he wanted to obtain a large amount of water of life, but it seemed impossible now. But thinking about it carefully, it was normal. If the ancient Almighty had transported the water of life here to suppress the demons, and if others kept plundering it, it would weaken the suppression effect of the ancient demon. Wouldn't that allow the demons to break the seal? Therefore, the Almighty who had created this array had thought of this, which was why many warriors were restricted from coming here to obtain the water of life. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Xiaoping stepped forward and came to the lake. He immediately felt an abundant energy surge into his pores, entering his limbs and bones, filling his body with strength. Bathed in such pure energy, some of his previous injuries, even the hidden injuries that were invisible to the naked eye, seemed to be completely healed in an instant. He felt that this lake was simply the lake of life, with the goddess of life living in it. Oh, what is this feeling? Suddenly, Xiaoping felt an extremely evil aura surge out from the depths of the lake. It was an unfathomable darkness, and there was even a beating heart. Every time it beat, a strange rhythm appeared in the void. The lake water produced clear ripples, and the air vibrated like the whispers of a demon. It made him feel so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood, and his blood boiled. This is the ancient demon that was suppressed here? Is it not dead yet? Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He could feel a dark aura surging out from the depths of the lake. It seemed to be trying to corrode the water of life and break out of the seal. But every time a trace of dark aura seeped out, it would be instantly destroyed by the water of life. The cycle continued without end. When the dark aura was extinguished, it was as if an ancient array formation had appeared in the lake, and a mysterious power surged out, causing the dark aura to rapidly transform into drops of life water. Amazing! The more Xiaoping thought about it, the more he felt the terror of the ancient powerhouses. Not only could this magic array suppress the ancient demons, but it could also erase the demon's power, using the demon's source energy to transform into the water of life to strengthen the seal. Over time, the ancient demon would be completely obliterated and suppressed to death. Therefore, the water of life here had been taken away by humans countless times, but it had never dried up. It was estimated that the ancient Almighty of the human race not only wanted to suppress the ancient demon, but also wanted to make this ancient demon contribute to the human race, and make it work as a laborer for all eternity. They wanted to turn this place into a cultivation holy land for the human race, and strengthen the human warriors. This kind of wisdom was simply heaven-defying. However, Xiaoping still couldn't figure out why it could be transformed in such a way. Perhaps it involved a higher level of power, and it wasn't something a warrior like him could come into contact with for the time being. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Xiaoping immediately stepped forward and took out the water jar that he had prepared. When he arrived at the lake, he immediately took out 2 liters of water of life, and filled the water jar. Just as he was about to act impulsively and take a little more, an extremely complicated magic array appeared in the air. A terrifying aura was brewing, as if the moment he wanted to make a move, a terrifying power would descend and obliterate his soul. Don't be afraid, human. Take as much as you want. With my help, you can get as much water of life as you want. Suddenly, a terrifying thought was transmitted to Xiaoping's mind. Even if he was unwilling, he could hear it. Who is it? A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. He knew that there were no humans nearby. I am the heaven-devouring demon lord, a supreme demon lord. As long as you are willing to help me escape, I will help you no matter what you need. Even if you want to advance to the Grandmaster realm, the King realm, or even higher realms, it won't be a problem at all. It's extremely easy for me. The figure tempted Chen Shi. So long as you listen to my orders, destroy the detestable magic array here, and release me, then you'll be able to possess supreme wealth and power in the world. Immediately, the voice reverberated in the sky, and it seemed to contain supreme might. There's no need. Xia Ping refused flatly. I can advance even without your help. He didn't believe anything that the so-called demon lord said. As the saying goes, those who aren't of the same race will definitely have different intentions. If he really released this demon lord, then he wouldn't be able to do anything if the demon lord went back on his word. Moreover, he was shocked in his heart. This cloud mist mountain range has been here for countless years, but the heaven-devouring demon lord that was suppressed here is actually still alive. I wonder what sort of height this demon lord has attained. Probably even a king realm expert is only at this level. Once such a terrifying demon lord was released, it would definitely cause a calamity to the human world, and blood would flow like rivers. Such a stupid thing could absolutely not be done. Stupid human kid. Do you think advancing into the king realm is so easy? Even geniuses would be trapped in this bottleneck for an unknown period of time. With the help of this sovereign, your cultivation path would be smooth, and it would be easy for you to become a superior person. Don't you know which is more important? Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable's voice sounded again. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. What you said makes a lot of sense, but I don't know if what you said is true or false. Why don't you help me advance into the king realm, and I'll release you right away. He was up to no good. If he wanted the benefits of the heaven-devouring demon venerable, he would not do anything. Lowly human brat, you actually dare to be petty in front of me, you're courting death. You really don't know how to appreciate favors. The heaven-devouring demon venerable roared angrily. The entire lake was shaking, and huge waves that shook the heavens and the earth were raised. Rumble. Following that, a tyrannical thought descended and enveloped Xia Ping's sea of consciousness. What? Chapter 406. He damned human brat. Once I destroy your consciousness and turn you into a walking corpse, you won't be able to do anything by then. Go to hell. The voice of the devouring heaven demon lord rang out, emitting an extremely evil aura that caused even the void to tremble. His immense mental strength invaded Xia Ping's mind immediately. Immediately, Xia Ping felt as though his soul was being shrouded by endless darkness, as he fell into an endless abyss. If this were to carry on, he would definitely turn into the puppet of the devouring heaven demon lord, and even his soul would be destroyed. Damn it! You want to destroy my soul and turn me into a walking corpse? Dream on! Xia Ping bellowed. All of a sudden, his immense soul power burst forth and he barely managed to maintain his consciousness as he used the heavenly dragon's music. Wu, ku, pa, ma, 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 ma. One after another, the sound burst forth and materialized in the void. It was as though a heavenly dragon had let out an earth-shattering roar that contained the power of extreme yang. The heavenly dragon itself was an extremely formidable creature. The roar that it let out possessed the power to destroy all evils. A single roar could even kill all the evils in the world. Bam bam bam. Immediately, 8 sounds rang out in Xia Ping's mind, causing the void to tremble. Even the air turned into ripples that struck out at the demonic cloud. Arr! Immediately, the devouring heaven demon lord let out a tragic cry. A trace of his soul power was struck, and it felt as though it had been quaked thousands of times. His mental strength was on the verge of collapsing entirely. Damn it! Damn it! To think that you would know a skill called Sonic Slayer that can simulate the roar of the 8th-division heavenly dragon. Damned human brat! Just where in the world did you learn such a skill from? The devouring heaven demon lord bellowed out. It had been many years since he had thought that he would be able to capture this human easily this time around and turn him into his puppet. But who would have thought that this human would know such a horrifying Sonic Slayer skill that contained a horrifying mental attack that could even destroy his soul? When the 8 sounds reverberated, the sound waves swept out in all directions, sweeping through the entire universe. It had the power to destroy all the evils in the world. Even a demon lord like him would fall for it if he was careless. But do you think you can defeat me like this? Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable was completely infuriated. A puny ant of the martial warrior realm actually dared to hurt him. If he wasn't sealed and could only leak a trace of his power, he could kill such an ant with a single breath. Therefore, his pride would never allow such a thing to happen. No matter what price he had to pay, he had to let this damned human brat know how powerful he was. Have a taste of this Lord's demonic heaven-gorging art. Enveloped by this demonic art, your soul will enter the 6 daos of reincarnation, reincarnating for 9 lifetimes before falling into oblivion. This Lord would like to see if you can still resist it. Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable let out a furious roar, causing the entire lake to tremble. The bottom of the lake split open, and a terrifying demon hand emerged from the depths of the lake. It was a huge hand that was condensed from boundless demonic chi. This was a power that the Devouring Heaven Demon Lord had spent God knows how many years accumulating within the seal. At this moment, it burst forth and tore apart the formation. Dong! A black finger gently tapped on Xiaoping's forehead. A powerful, evil and unstoppable force instantly surged into the space between Xiaoping's eyebrows and into the depths of his brain. Immediately, Xiaoping felt as if his soul was being pulled into an abyss by boundless black fog. His entire body was in a space of nothingness, as if his soul had instantly fallen into the 6 daos of reincarnation of hell. A demon appeared, laughing hideously. A black chain appeared in its hand, instantly binding Xiaoping's soul tightly like a criminal, wanting to pull Xiaoping away. Just as Xiaoping was about to fall into the Avicii hell and the 6 daos of reincarnation, a golden Buddha appeared in the depths of his mind, bursting with boundless golden light. Rumble! Immediately, the boundless demonic chi that had enveloped Xiaoping's brain seemed to have met its nemesis. It melted like snow, making sizzling sounds. Even the pure yang immortal technique in his body automatically started to operate. A terrifying dark red flame surged out from the depths of his soul, turning into a huge flame refinement. It was solemn, containing supreme destructive power. This force immediately bombarded the demon, enveloping his body. Ah! Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable let out a shrill scream, as if acid had been splashed on his body. The power of his soul was severely corroded, and instantly, a large amount of gray aura was emitted. The terrifying flame also burned the air. The demonic chi was like the best fuel. Upon contact with the flame, it began to burn fiercely. There was no way to stop it. Damn it. What kind of cultivation technique did you cultivate? A king-class cultivation technique? Or a god-class cultivation technique? Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable shouted, unable to believe his eyes. This Buddha's golden light, this terrifying flame, where did it come from? How could a lowly human possess such power? He could feel that under the terrifying Buddha's light and the terrifying flame, his soul power was being pushed back, as if he was being attacked by a god. Especially against the power of such flames, his soul power was just like an ant. If he was still at his peak, he might not be afraid. But now he could only leak a trace of power from the seal, and was completely no match for it. Go and die. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a cold gleam. He didn't show mercy, circulating the pure yang immortal technique in his body. All sorts of rune information flowed in his brain, and he seemed to have comprehended a trace of the true essence of the pure yang immortal technique. At this moment, his soul seemed to have turned into a dark red flame, and his brain was filled with a sea of flames. Crackle! In just an instant, the huge flame surrounded the demon, and in a few breaths' time, the demon was burned completely, and all the demonic chi was purified. With a bang, the demon disappeared completely, leaving behind only a golden crystal in his brain. At this moment, the entire lake shook, and a huge formation appeared in the void. Chains extended from the void, reaching deep into the lake, instantly suppressing Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable, and pulling him to the deepest part. Damn human, I will never let you go. Don't think that this is the end. Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable was extremely unwilling, and he let out a furious roar. Because this was an attack that he had accumulated for God knows how many years, but it had failed. Even the trace of his soul that he had left in Xiaoping's brain was destroyed, and he didn't know how heavy the loss was. Chapter 407. Bang bang bang. In the area outside the lake, the mountains shook and the soil tumbled. The demonic chi instantly became 10 times denser. Immediately, terrifying demonic ox demons appeared, numbering in the thousands. These demonic ox demons were even more terrifying than before. They were all at the second and third heavens of the martial practitioner realm. They were 4 meters tall and almost covered the entire area around the lake. Damn human, don't think that you can escape from this place just because you escaped my attack. Once you leave the range of this lake of life, you will definitely die without a burial place. Devouring Heaven Demon Venerable roared. These demonic ox demons were all summoned from the dimensional space by him, using a supreme secret technique. Each of them had extremely terrifying strength. Although he couldn't use any power to attack Xiaoping now, he could use the power of these demonic ox demons to crush this lowly human to death. This is a little troublesome. Xiaoping touched his chin. He also felt that the demonic ox demons outside the lake were eyeing him covetously. If it wasn't for the power of the life water, they would have already rushed in and devoured him. It was completely conceivable that if he left the lake, he would definitely die without a burial place. Looks like I can only completely advance to the martial master realm in this place. Xiaoping didn't have any fear. He had long been at the peak of the 9th heavens of the martial practitioner realm. He was just one step away from the martial master realm. Now that he had obtained a large amount of life water, he would definitely advance to the martial master realm after consuming this life water. Once he advanced to the martial master realm, his strength would definitely increase greatly. At that time, these demonic ox demons wouldn't be a threat. Walala. At this moment, Xiaoping sat cross-legged on the ground and immediately consumed a large amount of life water. Immediately, he felt an extremely abundant energy surging out of his body. It was as if every pore on his body was filled with rich energy and every cell was greedily devouring it. What a rich energy! Xiaoping was secretly amazed. Even the mysterious Yin pill, Dragon Tiger Rui pill and other elixirs that he had consumed previously couldn't compare to the effect of this life water. This was simply life energy without any side effects. He immediately circulated the pure yang immortal art. The sun furnace in his dantian vibrated, and a large amount of life water surged in, transforming into a large amount of genuine qi, and filling his entire dantian. Bang! When the genuine qi was extremely rich, a large amount of genuine essence gushed out from the depths of his dantian. A meridian in his body was instantly connected and surged like a great river. Martial Master Realm. At this moment, Xiaoping finally advanced to the Martial Master Realm. In the Martial Disciple Realm, one needed to open up 9 main meridians. However, in reality, there were not only 9 main meridians in the human body, but also 108 secondary meridians. These meridians were hidden in the deepest parts of the body. If one did not reach an extremely high realm, they would not be able to sense the existence of these secondary meridians. However, when humans reached the Martial Master Realm, they would be able to open up these secondary meridians. Once they opened up, they would be able to hold a large amount of quintessence, allowing their body to undergo an incredible evolution. Their strength, speed, and even their soul would undergo a transformation. When all 108 minor meridians were connected, all 100 meridians would be connected. At that time, one would reach the peak of the Martial Master Realm, and every move would have great power. Using water as a knife, condensing qi into a sword. This was the power possessed by a Martial Master Realm expert. He could definitely fight against 1,000 soldiers. Rumble, at the instant he stepped into the Martial Master Realm. The quintessence in the depths of Xiaoping's dantian rapidly transformed into quintessence. The quintessence in his entire body surged, as though lava was flowing through his limbs and bones. Right now, his entire body was surrounded by a gigantic ball of flames. Steam rose from the surroundings, emitting an incomparable heat like a volcano. Sun furnace condense. A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes as sun runes revolved in the depths of his eyes. He could feel that the sun furnace in his body had finally condensed successfully. In the depths of his dantian, the phantom of a furnace appeared, emitting vast amounts of flames. It was as though everything in the world would be incinerated into nothingness if they were to pass through this mysterious furnace. Now that the sun furnace was formed, he could casually devour demonic cores, spirit herbs, and other spirit items. There was no need for him to use any other methods to purify them. My strength has increased as well. Xiaoping clenched his fists. When he broke through to the Martial Master Realm, The cells, bones, and meridians in his body were all strengthened. One could say that his strength had increased by 2 to 3 times. Right now, he was simply like a human-shaped ferocious beast. With a light punch he could move a kilometer away. The might of his punch was sufficient to penetrate a small mountain peak. My mental energy has also undergone a transformation. Xiaoping closed his eyes. He could also sense that his soul force had increased by quite a bit. A radius of 3 kilometers was completely enveloped by his mental energy. It was unknown how many times stronger it was compared to before. It can't be, right? How can my mental energy have increased by so much? No, that's not right. Even my soul force is stronger than before. Xiaoping opened his eyes as a cold light flashed in them. Originally, his soul talent was extremely high, more than 10 times that of ordinary people. But now it had become even more terrifying. His soul force seemed to be 15 times that of ordinary people, and it was still increasing. This golden crystal, what exactly is it? Xiaoping very quickly noticed a golden crystal in the depths of his mind. This was a crystal left behind after the soul flames of the heaven-devouring demon Venerable burned his soul. And now this crystal seemed to have melted as it emitted a golden aura. This aura nourished his soul and actually caused his soul force to strengthen unceasingly, becoming more and more corporeal. At this moment the system spoke, "Congratulations host, this is a soul crystal. It's extremely rare in the world and its value is inestimable. It has the effect of strengthening one's soul force." Soul crystal. Xiaoping was shocked. He knew that anything that could strengthen one's soul force was an invaluable treasure. He had not expected that after defeating the heaven-devouring demon Venerable, there would be a soul crystal left behind. This was simply a fortune. If this soul crystal were to be taken out, probably even the kings of the entire human world would go crazy over it. TSK, if this heaven-devouring demon Venerable knew that not only did he not kill me, but he also left behind such a great benefit, I'm afraid this heaven-devouring demon Venerable would go crazy from anger. Xiaoping was in a good mood. However, I can't continue to stay here. I'd better leave this place as soon as possible. Xiaoping also did not plan to continue angering the heaven-devouring demon Venerable. After all, who knew what kind of trump card such a terrifying character had? Right now, he was just an insignificant martial master. There was no need for him to clash with this ancient demon Venerable. In the future, when he rose to the same level as the ancient demon Venerable, he would definitely teach him a lesson. Chapter 408. However, with so many demonic ox monsters gathered in this place, it will be a bit troublesome. Xiaoping came to the edge of the lake and looked at the demonic ox demon standing in the distance, glaring at him fiercely. It was as if his body would be torn to pieces as soon as he took a step forward. Furthermore, there were many of these demonic ox demons. They were densely packed all over the plains, numbering in the tens of thousands. Furthermore, their strength was continuously increasing, and their auras were gradually increasing. This was probably the devouring sky demon Venerable's doing. If these demonic ox demons advanced to the 9th heaven of the martial master realm, he would never have the chance to leave this place. Human, come out if you have the guts. Don't be a coward in there. Don't worry, we won't eat you raw after we come out. Everyone knows that we cows don't eat humans, we only eat grass. Don't hide in there. It won't do you any good, understand? One after another, the demonic ox demons cried out, hoping that Xiaoping would come out. They even tried to deceive Xiaoping by saying that they didn't eat humans. This was because they had received orders from the devouring heaven demon Venerable to kill this human. They did not dare to disobey this order. Moreover, if they succeeded in killing this damned human, they would definitely receive great benefits from the devouring heaven demon Venerable. Therefore, all of them wished that they could rush in and kill Xiaoping in an instant. Do you think I'm a fish on the chopping block that can be slaughtered however you want? Xiaoping rubbed his chin. He also knew the source of these demonic ox demons' confidence. It was nothing more than relying on their numbers. However, he couldn't continue to delay here. Otherwise, if the strength of these demonic bulls continued to increase, he would really be stuck in this place, unable to leave. Thinking about that, Xiaoping immediately took out a cup and filled it with water of life. Although Shao Chun had consumed a significant amount of water of life to advance to the martial master realm, he had only consumed 1 liter. There was still 1 liter of water of life that he had not consumed, so he still had some left. Pa! Xia Ping stepped out of the lake's area of effect without hesitation. Seeing this, the demonic ox monsters were all overjoyed. Haha, stupid human. He really came out like a fool. Does he really think that we don't eat humans? Although we look like cows on the outside, we are also fiendish demons. We all eat meat. I wonder if the flesh and blood of such a stupid human is fragrant. Who cares? Don't think that I won't eat just because he's crazy. I'm not picky. One by one, the demonic ox demons roared loudly. They were extremely excited. They all held their giant axes and pounced forward, hoping to be the first to kill Xia Ping and obtain great merit. Courting death. A cold glint flashed across Xia Ping's eyes. In an instant, he poured out the cup of water of life. Next, he punched the air and a tyrannical fist force spread out. Shio shio shio. Immediately, the water of life was blasted away by the frightening fist energy. The water of life was wrapped in powerful true essence power, and dispersed into drops of water of life. The drops of the water of life, wrapped in quintessence, simply turned into bullets, shooting out in all directions. They were so fast that they simply tore through the air. In the blink of an eye, the cup of life water had turned into thousands of bullets. Bang bang bang. Those demonic ox monsters were caught off guard, and their bodies were hit by the bullet. Their hard armor couldn't withstand it at all, and the bullet instantly pierced through their bodies. For these demons, the water of life was like poison. Touching it meant certain death. Once the water of life fell on their bodies, it was like sulfuric acid, wildly corroding their bodies and turning them into a large amount of demonic qi. No matter how powerful they were, it was still the same. It was like an object that was their nemesis. One could imagine how destructive the water of life would be if it was shot out as a bullet. It was like having an extra demon-slaying weapon. Every bullet could reap the life of a demonic ox monster. Ah! Immediately, these demonic ox monsters let out shrill screams. Their hearts were blown up by the water of life bullets, and their bodies were torn apart. In just a few breaths' time, hundreds of demonic ox monsters had been killed. Their bodies were blasted into a bloody mess, and demonic cores flew out of their bodies. Xia Ping stepped forward and made a grabbing motion with his hand. Quintessence vibrated, and the scattered demonic cores were suddenly caught by him. He put them into his space ring, obtaining 400 to 500 demonic cores. This was a huge harvest. Damn it, shameless humans. How dare you use the water of life to deal with us? How shameless. If you have the guts, let's fight one-on-one. Don't use the water of life as a weapon. One by one, the demonic ox monsters shouted. They were scared half to death. Seeing so many of their companions killed in an instant, they immediately felt that Xia Ping was an extremely dangerous human. Especially when he held the water of life in his hand. This was simply a powerful weapon to deal with and kill them. This frightened them and they all made way for him, not daring to block his way. Swoosh! Xia Ping took a strange step, and a pair of solid wings grew out of his back. These were the wings of a rock. His speed was unbelievably fast and he rushed out. He did not care about the demonic ox monster's cries. The water of life was a precious resource. Using a little to deal with the demonic ox monsters made his heart ache. The only reason he had done this was to intimidate the other fiendish demons. Now that he had a chance to escape, he was naturally unwilling to take out the water of life again. At this moment, Xia Ping's speed had almost reached the peak of the first heaven of the martial master realm. He was like a rock controlling the airflow. In a few breaths he had crossed several kilometers. Even if the demonic ox monsters saw Xia Ping's figure, they could only watch him escape. They could not catch up at all. Don't let this human brat escape. Quickly chase after him, or I will take your lives. An earth-shattering roar came from the void. This was a supreme order. The demonic ox monsters were all scared half to death. They did not dare to hesitate at all. They madly chased after Xia Ping, trying to stop him from leaving. It's too late. Eat the dust on my butt. Xia Ping looked at the group of demonic ox monsters with disdain. When he used the Kuan-Peng steps to the extreme, these demonic ox monsters could not catch up at all. With a swoosh, he quickly reached the edge of the mountain and came to the front of the energy barrier. He immediately rushed over his body like a hurricane. However, the demonic ox monsters were not afraid. They actually followed Xiaoping and rushed out of the mountain. Chapter 409. At this time, a dense crowd of students appeared outside the mountain. These students had been attracted by the news spread by the azure-clothed man and the others. After all, the water of life was so important that every student present hoped to obtain it. Once they could swallow a large amount of the water of life, they could immediately change their aptitude, enhance their body's potential, and transform them into geniuses. In the future, they would even have a 30% chance of becoming a king realm expert. There were many examples before. Some seniors were originally unknown, but after they were lucky enough to obtain the water of life, they soared into the sky and became king realm experts. They could finally stand out and be respected by thousands. This mountain is the space where the water of life is? Yes, absolutely. Don't you see that this mountain is full of greenery, and there are many plants living on it? Only the water of life can make such a miracle happen. Yes, this is the land of demons. The demonic chi is dense and lifeless. Not even a blade of grass grows here. Without the water of life, it is impossible for plants to survive here. Haha, after searching for so many days, we finally found the location of the water of life. Even the heavens are helping us. Many students were very excited. They stared at the mountain in front of them. They could not suppress their emotions at all. They could not wait to rush into the mountain and seize the water of life. These students included Niezhan Chongbin, Chou Wanqian, and the others. They had come after hearing the news. Even Suji, Shaoishuan, Mu Haoran, and the others had come. They were determined to obtain the water of life. But someone has already gone in. It seems that he wants to take everything for himself. Who is so arrogant to want to take everything for himself? Does he know how much he is worth? I asked around earlier. That person's name is Wu Wudi. What an arrogant name. He dares to call himself Wu Wudi. He really thinks we're fake. In short, when this kid comes out, it's fine if he doesn't get the water of life. Once he does, we'll immediately make him hand it over. How can we let others take such a treasure? If he's not satisfied, we'll cripple him and let him know what's good for him. Many students discussed animatedly. Their expressions were extremely ferocious and murderous. When the green-robed man and the others saw this, they were all overjoyed. With so many students here, they believed that no matter how powerful Wu Wudi was, he would not be able to suppress everyone. However, they were also a little worried. With so many people gathered here, it wouldn't be easy for them to fish in troubled waters. Strange, where's that shit-stirrer Xiaoping? Why can't I see him anywhere? Suji curiously looked around. Her eyes rolled around, but she couldn't find Xiaoping's location. But normally, this brat would commit all sorts of crimes, and his favorite thing to do was to add fuel to the fire. He would make a big fuss out of a small matter, and when the big matter got out of hand, he would get involved in all sorts of bad things. But now there was no trace of Xiaoping, which made her feel very strange, wondering if the sky was going to change color. In short, it's best if this kid doesn't show up. Once he does, he'll definitely turn the world upside down. The complexions of Mu Haoran and the others darkened. All of them clenched their fists tightly as they thought of Xiaoping, that super scourge. Although they had all advanced to the martial master realm and their strength had increased by several times, they still felt a lingering fear when they faced Xiaoping. Boss Miaoze really has no discipline. We haven't seen him in a few days. Did he forget boss's orders and run around? They don't even know what it means to be superior. A nearby student said unhappily. He was one of Niezhan's lackeys. That's right. He hasn't appeared for such a long time. He even forgot the boss's orders. What's the use of such an unruly person? When he comes back, we'll directly remove him from our circle. We'll let him know how powerful we are. Another student with a crew cut clenched his fist with a ferocious expression. But he hasn't come back for so long. Could he have been killed by demons? Some students' eyes flickered. They suspected that Miaoze was already dead. That is indeed a possibility. The students who followed Miaoze this time did not appear either. We can't contact any of them. This situation is very strange. Previously, I heard that he was chasing after Yanhuang University's Xiaoping. That's why he brought people to wander around the Cloud Mist mountain range. He did not even look for the water of life. But now he has disappeared. I wonder if he was killed by Xiaoping. Impossible. No matter how bold that Xiaoping is, he would not dare to harm a sovereign clan unless he wants to die. The eyes of a few students flickered as they made many guesses. It's good that he's dead. Miao Zhe is arrogant and unruly. He always thinks highly of himself because he is a descendant of a sovereign clan. He even flirts with the people of other factions. He is definitely an ingrate. I've tolerated him for a long time. A black-clothed student was very unhappy. He had not liked Miao Zhe for a long time. You can't say that. Miao Zhe is one of us after all. Before he betrayed us, he was one of us. If he was really killed, we have to investigate it thoroughly. Otherwise, how can we convince everyone? If Miao Zhe is really dead, the entire Miao clan will probably be shocked. At that time, there will definitely be big trouble. If the Miao clan takes their anger out on us, we will be in big trouble. Nonsense. The Miao clan is nothing. Once the boss speaks, I guarantee that they will all be scared like quails. A dozen or so students shouted. They were extremely arrogant and looked down on everyone. All right, shut up, Niezhin said. Let's put the matter of Miao Zhe aside for now. We have no way of knowing whether he is dead or alive. Right now, the most important thing is to find the water of life. Later, all of you will follow me in and fight for the water of life. Don't drop the ball. He stared at everyone, exuding endless pressure. But it seems that a guy called Wuwudi went in. I think he has already gotten there first. I heard that the amount of water of life obtained each time is limited. Once it is taken away, even if someone else goes in later, they will not be able to obtain it and will be expelled. Then let's capture that Wuwudi and kill him. Then won't the water of life on him belong to us? Not bad, that's a good idea. Only our Ares College can obtain the water of life. If any other school dares to reach out, we will chop off their hands. The group of people were filled with killing intent, ignoring everything. Niezhin's expression was indifferent. In order to obtain the water of life, he did not mind killing a few people. Look, someone is coming out from that mountain. Chapter 4:10. It's Wuwudi. Yes, it's that kid. I can recognize him even if he turns into ashes. The man in green and the others immediately shouted. They had also recognized Xiaoping, who had run out from that mountain peak. That kid finally came out. I wonder if he got the water of life? Hee. Capture him and we'll know everything after a thorough investigation. Many of the students had a cold look in their eyes. To any cultivator, the water of life was an extremely important treasure. No matter what methods they used, they had to obtain it. Some students had been stuck at the martial artist ninth heaven for 3 years just to obtain the water of life. They had wasted 3 years of their time. One could imagine how much they desired such a treasure. No, that's not right. It's not just Wuwudi who came out. Some students quickly discovered the fiendish demons behind Xiaoping, and immediately shouted, "Demonic ox demons." A group of demonic ox demons has also come out. Everyone was shocked. They saw a group of demonic ox demons behind Xiaoping. There were hundreds and thousands of them, and each of them had the strength of a martial master. Each of them was 3 to 4 meters tall and held huge axes in their hands. They had an astonishing aura. When they ran, they were like an army. The earth shook and the mountains shook. They were like super tanks. Anything that dared to stand in the way of these demonic ox demons would be crushed to pieces. Those demonic ox demons seemed to be chasing after Wuwudi. What exactly did this kid do? Some people were dumbfounded. They had entered the mountain peaks before. However, although there were fiendish demons in those peaks, they would not chase after them. As long as they left, the fiendish demons would stop and stay in the space of the mountain peaks. But now, when this kid left, a group of demonic ox demons chased after him. Their eyes were red and they emitted a shocking murderous aura. It was as if they would not rest until one of them died. Look at the red eyes of these bulls. They are so angry. Did this kid seduce the wives of these demonic ox demons? Damn, if that's really the case, I have to say that this guy has a really strong taste. He can even make a move like this. He's really hungry. He can have an affair even though he's of a different race. He's too amazing. Don't talk nonsense here. That guy is rushing towards us. Why is he rushing towards us? Is he crazy? What else could it be? He's obviously trying to divert the trouble. Run! Instantly, the faces of the group of students changed. They saw Xiaoping rushing towards them at an extremely fast speed. If this was an ordinary situation, they wouldn't care. Instead, they would be secretly delighted. They wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to capture Xiaoping and investigate him to find the water of life. The problem was that this guy was being chased by a group of demonic ox demons. If this kid rushed over, wouldn't he also bring these demonic ox demons with him? This bastard clearly wanted to drag them down with him. He wanted to kill them. Whoosh! Xiaoping was too lazy to care about what these students were thinking. When he saw so many elite students gathered here, he immediately knew that this was a great opportunity. With these cannon fodder blocking the way, the demonic ox demons would not be able to continue their rampage, and he could also take advantage of this opportunity to quickly escape, or even fish in troubled waters. Humans, when did so many humans gather here? They must be the helpers of that bastard human. Let's kill them together. This is a feast. Today I'm going to roast all these humans. The demonic ox demons were extremely excited. Large amounts of white gas came out of their nostrils, and all the blood in their bodies boiled. They also attacked the humans around them. Originally, humans and demons were mortal enemies. When they saw each other, they would start fighting. There was absolutely no reason to ease up. Many students did not say anything. They also felt the threat of these demonic ox demons. One by one they made their moves. Some took out swords, some took out broadswords, and some took out spears to fight the demonic ox demons. Bang bang bang. Immediately the two forces collided with each other like two torrents, producing intense sparks. The weapons clashed, and it was as if two armies were fighting. Qi vibrated and rumbled. The demonic ox demons that were chasing Xiaoping were also blocked. Xiaoping's speed of escape became even faster. Kid, stop. I have something to ask you. Suddenly an angry roar was heard. It was like the roar of a lion, and the surrounding mountains were shaking. The person who made the sound was Chongbin of Heavenly Deity Academy. He had the bloodline of the fire lion. His red hair flew up and his feet cracked the ground. He was like an angry lion. He slapped out his palm mercilessly and overbearingly, trying to stop Xiaoping. Chongbin had a stomach full of questions about the water of life and the situation inside the mountain. Therefore, he wanted to stop Xiaoping and interrogate him. However, Xiaoping did not have the time to talk to Chongbin. He was in a hurry to escape. Get lost. With a bang, Xiaoping instantly took out his sword and slashed down. It contained a terrifying power of spiritual ether. It was as if this sword could even split the sky. Dong! The power of this sword hit Chongbin's body solidly. It was like a flood had erupted in an instant. It contained the power to destroy everything, and the entire air exploded. How is this possible? Chongbin was immediately shocked. As the #1 expert of Heavenly Deity Academy, he had the bloodline of the fire lion. His strength was unparalleled, and he was overbearing and invincible. In terms of strength alone, no one in the same generation was a match for him. A punch could even collapse a small mountain. This was the invincible power of the Lion King. However, when he received this sword with his bare hands, he felt an irresistible force. It was so powerful that it instantly destroyed the defense in his body, and the air exploded inch by inch. Bang! Chongbin was immediately caught off guard. His entire body was sent flying without any resistance. He flew for a full kilometer before finally smashing into a huge rock that was more than 10 meters tall. With a few cracking sounds, his body was forcibly sunk in. Gravel flew everywhere and countless cracks appeared. He could not help but cough up a mouthful of blood. His internal organs were severely injured. Even the ground was shaken by such power. 2 or 3 terrifying cracks appeared, extending hundreds of meters. The area within a radius of 3 kilometers was shaking. No way, is this Wuxia a monster? That's Chongbin with the bloodline of the fire lion. He was sent flying with a single sword. It's so terrifying. What is the background of this Wuxia? How did he obtain this power? Everyone was shocked. They had never expected this to happen. They had thought that Chongbin would intercept him, and this kid would not have any chance to escape. Chapter 411. Stop right there. Not all the martial artists were frightened. At least Chou Wanqian from the Black and White College was not. When he saw Wu Wuti send Chongbin flying with one strike, his pupils constricted and he seemed to be a little shocked. However, he reacted quickly and immediately attacked. He pulled out his sword and attacked Xia Ping. Swoosh! The sword slashed down and sword qi filled the air. It contained black and white sword qi, like the fusion of yin and yang. It contained the aura of life and death and was extremely terrifying. Even the surrounding students were in awe of this sword. It was as if as long as they stood in front of such sword qi, their entire bodies would disintegrate inch by inch. Don't block the way. Xia Ping also slashed with his sword. The quintessential essence in his body boiled like lava. A terrifying sword qi blasted out like a real dragon, roaring in the void. Bang! The two sword qi collided and sparks flew everywhere. Qi vibrated as if two real dragons were fighting each other. What? Chou Wanqian was also shocked. Although he did not use all his strength in this sword, it was not something that an ordinary first heaven martial master could withstand. However, Wu Wuti casually slashed with his sword and released a terrifying sword qi, easily defeating his attack. Dong! Xia Ping slashed with his sword again. The sword qi condensed and cut through the air, containing a torrent of power. Oh no! Chou Wanqian was caught off guard. He did not expect Xia Ping's attack to be so fast. He was unable to resist the sword and was slashed on his body. With a boom, his body flew backward for a kilometer before smashing into a mountain wall, creating a human-shaped crater and sending rocks flying in all directions. Everyone was shocked. This guy was too abnormal. Even Chou Wanqian from the Black and White College could not withstand one move from him, and was directly sent flying with one strike. Although he did not display any exquisite swordsmanship, the brute force of his swordsmanship alone was enough to suppress countless experts and peerless geniuses. One had to know that Chou Wanqian was a famous swordsmanship genius. It could be said that his swordsmanship was divine. When he slashed with his sword, sword qi filled the air and was enough to split a mountain. It was extremely terrifying. But now it was actually defeated by Wu Wuti. One could imagine the shock of the surrounding students. Another peerless genius has appeared. Who exactly is this Wu Wuti? Suji and the others looked solemn. They could tell how powerful Wu Wuti was. Each and every one of his movements was filled with great power. It was as if there was a peerless ferocious beast living in the depths of his body. Anyone who dared to stand in his way would be completely crushed. Suji could not help but wonder if Wu Wuti could match up to that shitstirrer Xia Ping. Those who stand in my way shall die. Xia Ping bellowed and brandished the sword in his hand. Sword qi burst out like a flood dragon, and each of the sword qi contained a terrifying power. The students who were standing in front of Xia Ping were all terrified to the extreme as they tried to avoid him. However, some unlucky students were not fast enough and were struck by the sword qi. Their bodies were sent flying like sandbags, flying for 2 to 3 kilometers before they fell to the ground, smashed into a bloody mess. Ah! Immediately, dozens of students had their arms and legs broken. They fell to the ground and wailed crazily. They were all students who had been sent flying by Xia Ping, and their faces were filled with pain. In just a breath's time, those who dared to stand in Xia Ping's way were all swept away, and an empty space appeared. Let's go. Xia Ping did not care about the anger of the students who had been sent flying. He stomped on the ground and immediately created a huge pit. The ground was densely packed with cracks and the forest shook. With a boom, his feet produced a terrifying propulsion force. The air exploded and his entire body was like a rocket, shooting up into the sky. He controlled the airflow and flew into the distance. In an instant, Xia Ping's body was 2 to 3 kilometers away from his original spot. With a few vertical and horizontal leaps, he quickly left the area without looking back. Damn it, that bastard really got away. There's nothing we can do. He's simply a monster. We can't stop him. Even experts like Chou Wanwan and Chongbin were sent flying with one move. What can we do? This kid must have obtained the water of life. Otherwise, why would he run away so desperately? So what if we know? We can't catch up with him at all. Where did this sword principal expert come from? Why have I never heard of his name? There are so many hidden dragons and crouching tigers in the cloud realm, and some of them are also hidden among the people. It's normal not to know. Many students gritted their teeth and were very unwilling, but they could not keep up with their speed. They could only watch Xiaoping leave the place, and his back disappeared from their sight. Damn it! With a bang, Changbin struggled out of the rubble. His face was extremely gloomy. He was sent flying by a sword. He was sent flying like a stone in the way, and he had no power to resist. For Changbin, who claimed to be the #1 expert, this was simply an irremovable shame. He was extremely angry and punched the ground, instantly creating a deep pit. Wu Wudi. Cho Wanwan also walked out of the rubble. His white clothes were still spotless. He held the long sword in his hand, and his clothes fluttered without any wind. His eyes were calm, but they emitted a more and more terrifying chill. Those who knew him knew that this was the moment when Cho Wanwan was truly angry. Whoever provoked him at this time would be in big trouble. A little interesting. In the distance, Niezhen's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He ordered a subordinate next to him, chase after him. Follow this Wu Wudi. We must not let him escape. He was very interested in this Wu Wudi, whether it was his strength or the water of life in his body. Yes, young Master Nya. A skinny student cupped his hands. His body was like a wisp of green smoke, and he instantly chased after the area where Xiaoping disappeared. His speed was extremely terrifying. The nearby students could not see the student's figure as he left. They immediately knew that this skinny student was definitely an expert who was proficient in speed and had amazing talent. There's no other way. Although Wu Wudi ran away, there's still the spring of life here. Kill these demonic ox demons and let them see the power of human elites. Once we enter this mountain space, we can obtain the water of life. This is really great. Kill, kill, kill. Although Xiaoping had run away, many students did not chase after him because the most important thing now was the water of life. As long as they killed these demons, they could enter the mountain space and obtain the water of life. Bang! Bang! Chapter 412. 3 days later, in the center of the Cloud Mist mountain range, many students received the news and rushed towards the mountain peak where the water of life was. They all tried to fight for the water of life to enhance their physical potential. However, when they were about to arrive, they saw the students returning dejectedly. Someone immediately asked what was going on. A large number of fiendish demons had appeared on the mountain peak where the water of life was located. There were at least 70 to 80,000 fiendish demons. Even the fiendish demons were extremely powerful. There were many fiendish demons at the 3rd and 4th heaven of the Martial Master Realm. Some had even reached the 9th heaven of the Martial Master Realm. Many talents tried to break in but all returned in failure. Some even lost their lives in there. There were countless casualties. Many students wanted to join forces, but they were no match for the fiendish demons. Instead, they were defeated by the fiendish demons inside. Lambert was strong, so they could only retreat and give up on the water of life. No way. Even Cho Wanwan, Changbin, and Niezhen couldn't get the water of life? Someone was shocked and felt that it was unbelievable. Someone shook his head and said, although Niezhen and the others are powerful, they have only just entered the Martial Master Realm. They are far from being able to fight against the fiendish demons at the 9th heaven of the Martial Master Realm. They tried a few times and were almost killed by the fiendish demons. Then they chose to retreat. They entered a treasure mountain but returned empty-handed. He was very unwilling and desperately wanted to get the water of life. However, there were countless fiendish demons guarding that place and they could do nothing. Even if many students joined forces, they could not break through. Moreover, he was still young and did not want to lose his life because of this. After all, there were countless treasures and resources in the world, not just the water of life. Even an expert like Niezhen couldn't get the water of life. It seems that no one who entered the Cloud Mist mountain range this time will be able to get the water of life. Someone sighed. Someone shook his head and said, no, no, no. Someone still got the water of life. It can't be. With a fiendish demon at the 9th heaven of the Martial Master Realm guarding it, someone actually managed to snatch food from the tiger's mouth? Who is that person? Many people were shocked and felt that it was unbelievable. That person is called Wu Wuti. I heard that he was the first to enter the mountain and obtain the water of life. However, it's not that he's invincible or that his strength is above everyone else's. He's just lucky. When he entered, the demons weren't that strong, so he could easily obtain the water of life. It is said that it is precisely because this bastard obtained the water of life that he angered the taboo, causing the strength of the fiendish demons to continuously increase. In the end, a fiendish demon army appeared, preventing us from entering. That damned Wu Wuti. That bastard took everything for himself. He was so full of himself and gained so many benefits, but he ended up like this. We can't go in and get the water of life. Many of them gritted their teeth, feeling extremely resentful towards Wu Wuti. If not for the fact that this bastard had angered some taboo and caused the demon's strength to change drastically, they would not have looked at the treasure mountain in front of them helplessly. If Wu Wuti were in front of them, they would not hesitate to fight him to the death. However, Wu Wuti will definitely not have a good ending. As the saying goes, an innocent man gets into trouble because of his wealth. Someone sneered. So many of us didn't obtain the water of life. He's the only one who obtained it. You can imagine how many people will be jealous of him. I heard that many geniuses want to settle scores with Wu Wuti. It's not just settling scores. They even want to kill Wu Wuti. Niezhen, Chou Wanqian, Chongbin, and the others have all set out to find Wu Wuti. Once they find Wu Wuti, he will definitely die. Even the water of life on him will be snatched away. It can be said that Wu Wuti is already a target of public criticism. Countless students have set up an inescapable net. He can't escape. Everyone discussed animatedly. They also hope to find Wu Wuti and snatch the water of life from him. Then such a great opportunity would belong to them. At that moment, in a valley in the middle of the Cloud Mist mountain range, Xiaping appeared in this place. He had been running for 3 days in order to leave the center of the Cloud Mist mountain range. After all, he had already obtained the water of life. Even if he stayed in this place, he would not benefit much. It was better to leave. However, the area of the central region was too large. He was also too deep in. Even after running for several days, he had not completely left the central region. Come out. Suddenly Xiaping stopped in his tracks. A cold light flashed in his eyes as he looked into the distance. Sneaky scoundrels. You've been following me for a day. What do you want? He felt a murderous aura coming from the nearby valley. Many people were planning to ambush him. Swoosh. Swoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, 20 to 30 students appeared around the valley. They appeared in front of Xiaping in an instant. Their eyes revealed a cold murderous aura that sent shivers down one's spine. All of them were experts in the first heaven of the martial master realm. They exuded a powerful aura. Wu Wuti. A tall student revealed a cold smile. We've been looking for you for many days. Now that we've finally found you, the heavens really do not disappoint those who wait. We won't talk nonsense with you. Immediately hand over the water of life on you. That way you can live. Otherwise, you'll definitely die today. A group of students stared at Xiaping and surrounded him, not giving him any chance to escape. Stupid. Xiaping narrowed his eyes. I don't know where you got this wrong information. I don't have any water of life on me. If you scram now, I can still forgive you. Otherwise, you'll regret it for the rest of your lives. He did not even admit that he had the water of life on him. Shut up. You're clearly the first person to enter. How could you not have the water of life? You're full of lies. It really makes me laugh. Whether you have the water of life or not, we'll know after a thorough investigation. Immediately kneel and beg for mercy. Hand over everything on you and let us investigate. If you don't have it, we'll let you leave safely. If you do, you're lying. This matter will not be so simple. Many students shouted angrily. They did not believe Xiaping's words at all. Nonsense. Just kill him and get the treasure from his corpse. I don't believe that a dead man can lie. A man in yellow sneered. He held a large saber in his hand. Chapter 4:13. You want to kill me? Are you qualified to do so? A cold light flashed in Xiaping's eyes. He would never show mercy to these people who wanted to kill him. With a clang, He pulled out a sword from his waist and slashed at the man. Swoosh! In an instant, a terrible sword radiance flashed, like the brightest light in the night, like a shooting star, and slashed at the man in yellow. Oh no! Feeling the threatening sword chi, the man in yellow's face changed and his whole body was filled with a sense of life or death crisis. However, the speed of the sword chi was so fast that he could not dodge it at all. With a puff, the sword chi slashed at him and his whole body was cut in half from the middle. The cut was smooth and blood spurted out like a fountain, staining the ground red. His body was split in half and his eyes were wide open. Before he died, there was fear, unwillingness, and disbelief in his eyes, as if he could not believe that he had been killed just like that. Damn it! This bastard dared to kill Brother Chan. Go, everyone go together and kill this damn bastard. Bastard, how dare he kill someone? He wants to die, he wants to die. Seeing the man in yellow killed with a sword and his body cut in half, the group of students were stunned and their lungs were about to explode. They did not expect such a thing to happen. After all, they outnumbered Xiaoping and he was alone. No matter how they looked at it, they had the absolute advantage. Ordinary people would have been scared to the point of kneeling and begging for mercy. How could they resist? However, this damn bastard not only dared to resist but also dared to kill someone. He killed one of their companions with a sword. They could not accept such a result. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Some of them were holding long spears, some were holding sabers, some were holding long swords, and some were barehanded. Every one of them was an expert of the martial master realm. They had reached the realm of holding water into a sword and condensing chi into a saber. In an instant, thousands of forces shook. Ordinary martial masters at the first heaven of the martial master realm would be crushed by this force. Even a small mountain could be flattened in an instant. 4 seasons swordsmanship, summer scorch. In that instant, Xiaoping immediately unleashed the second form of the 4 seasons swordplay, summer scorching flames. As he slashed out with his sword, hundreds and thousands of rays of sword chi exploded forth, as if a scorching sun was enveloping the area. Every strand of sword chi contained a terrifying flame, and the surrounding temperature rose by hundreds, even thousands of degrees. Such a temperature could even melt steel into liquid and completely melt. The students immediately felt extremely hot, and large amounts of sweat poured out of their bodies. Even their clothes seemed to be on fire. Bang, bang, bang. In the air, countless streams of energy collided, like hundreds of volcanoes erupting, emitting earth-shattering explosions that contained terrifying power. Deep craters immediately appeared on the ground, and the flames spread, burning the weeds and soil in the surroundings. The area within a kilometer was filled with the flames, and it had the power to burn everything within 1,000 kilometers. Ah! Some martial masters were caught off guard and were immediately hit by this sword chi. The terrifying flaming sword chi instantly pierced through their bodies, melting a big hole in their chests. One by one they fell to the ground, their hearts pierced by the flaming sword chi. These flames were extremely terrifying, and in a few breaths, their bodies were burned to ashes. How is this possible? The remaining students were dumbfounded. Their bodies were trembling. Just a single sword strike had killed half of their people. Such a sword technique was terrifying to the point of being a complete mess. Especially these flames, once they touched them, it seemed that they could not escape. They would not stop until their bodies were burned to ashes. In fact, these flames also contained a trace of the power of Xiaoping's pure yang immortal skill, which also caused the power of the second move of the 4 seasons sword technique to be unusually terrifying. Whoosh! Xiaoping stood there, feeling the surging genuine essence in his body. As he fought with these martial masters, his genuine essence surged, and the energy of the water of life in his body was constantly refined and transformed into genuine essence in his dantian. With a bang, the second minor meridian in his body was opened, and a large amount of genuine essence rushed in like lava. The genuine essence in his body was also strengthened. He felt that his cells, bones, meridians, and other parts of his body were all being nourished by the genuine essence. They were rapidly becoming stronger, and the momentum of his body was also rapidly increasing. As long as the 12 minor meridians were opened and the genuine essence was formed, he would reach the peak of the first heaven of the martial master realm, and he could quickly break through to the second heaven of the martial master realm. Go to hell! Xiaoping shouted angrily, and the sound waves rolled like the roar of a lion. The terrifying sound waves could be heard within a radius of 10 kilometers, and the whole earth was shaking at this moment. Some of the martial master realm students in the distance were all shaken to the point that their blood and chi were surging. Their eardrums were shattered, and they were bleeding from their 7 orifices. Damn it, this guy is too strong. Run, go back and call for help. He is not a match at all. This bastard is simply a monster. The remaining students were terrified. They endured the injuries in their bodies and fled into the distance, no longer having the courage to fight with Xia Ping. The first move of the 4 seasons sword technique. Continuous spring rain. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness, and he slashed with his sword. The genuine essence vibrated, and dense raindrops appeared in the sky. These raindrops were condensed by sword chi. A spring aura permeated the surroundings, sweeping across a radius of a few miles. It was as if all things were reviving, and the spring rain was nourishing the earth. Even the weather seemed to have changed at this moment. However, these students did not feel any joy. Their faces were pale with fear. They only felt a chill throughout their bodies, and every raindrop contained a fatal killing intent. Kill! Xia Ping slashed down with his sword. These raindrops fell from the sky like meteors, and their speed was unbelievably fast. They smashed down in an instant, accurately attacking these students. Bang, bang, bang. In a few breaths, these students were hit by the sword chi raindrops. Their bodies were directly pierced, and countless bloody holes appeared. It was as if they had been shot by bullets. Ah! They screamed, but there was nothing they could do. Even the weapons in their hands were shattered, turning into a pile of scrap iron. Even the ground was smashed by the sword chi raindrops. With a boom, densely packed pits appeared within a radius of a kilometer. It was like the surface of the moon. The soil was tumbling, and the ground was shaking, as if it had encountered a natural disaster. So far, these students were all killed. Xia Ping went forward and collected the pills and spiritual medicine that these students had dropped. Although their value was not as high as the water of life, it was still a good harvest. It could help him strengthen the power of his genuine essence. Chapter 4:14. Another day passed, and Xia Ping sprinted towards the outskirts of the central region. He arrived at a plain, and it seemed like it wouldn't be long before he left the central region. Swoosh! At that moment, a spear shot out from afar. It was extremely fast, tearing through the air. It carried an extremely terrifying power and attacked Xia Ping's body. Xia Ping felt the threat of this spear. His hair stood on end. His body flashed and he immediately dodged it as fast as lightning. With a thud, the spear smashed into the ground in front of Xia Ping. It immediately created a deep pit with a diameter of 5 meters. Soil flew everywhere and terrifying cracks appeared. The spear was stuck in the ground and its tail was still buzzing and trembling. What a lingering ghost! Xia Ping stopped and narrowed his eyes. He felt a dozen figures quickly chasing in front of him. They appeared in front of him one by one and blocked his way. The person in the lead was Niezhen. The other 13 people were his subordinates. All of them had the strength of the first heaven of the martial mentor realm. They all stared at Xia Ping fiercely. Wu Wudi, we finally caught up with you. Don't think that you can escape. Hand over the water of life immediately. Otherwise, you won't be able to escape today. If you know what's good for you, immediately kneel and surrender. If you force us to attack you, you will end up miserable. With us here you can't escape. You have killed many people in the Cloud Mist Mountain. This is a serious crime. Surrender immediately. The dozen students stared at Xia Ping, and their bodies emitted a terrifying murderous aura. They were like a pack of wolves and their eyes were red. They did not hesitate to state their purpose. Do you think you can be so presumptuous here? Xia Ping looked at this group of people indifferently. These days there are many people like you who don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. However, you should know very well what happened to them. If you want to attack me, you should consider your own strength. He clenched his fists. These days, countless flies had swarmed around him and tried to snatch the water of life from him. However, without exception, they were all repelled or killed by him. The faces of the group of students changed. They had also heard of the achievements of these invincible martial artists in the sky martial arts realm. They were extremely ferocious. Countless people had died in their hands, even the martial mentor realm students. The other party's accomplishments were built on the bones of their enemies. They were not to be underestimated. However, they were also proud geniuses with astonishing talent. Just this alone was not enough to scare them away. After all, the power of the life water was just too great. Measure my own strength? Niezhen seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. Do you think that you are invincible just because you killed a few ants? Do you think that no one can stop you? If I Niezhen want to kill you, it would be a piece of cake. His expression was arrogant. Even though he had heard of Xiaoping's battle achievements, he was still extremely confident, believing that his strength was above countless experts. This was the confidence of a king clan. Xiaoping stood with his hands clasped behind his back. He did not seem to care at all. He said indifferently, "You think you are the best in the world when it comes to bragging? When it comes to a real fight, you Niezhen are just a fake. I can defeat you with just a few punches and kicks." Impudent. Who are you calling inferior goods? Do you know who you are talking to? Do you understand the rules at all? A student beside him shouted angrily, glaring at Xiaoping. He was loyal to his master. Defeat you with just a few punches and kicks? You are too arrogant, actually daring to offend Big Brother Nie's dignity. Kneel down and apologize immediately. Otherwise, even if you flee to the ends of the world, no one will be able to save you. A student with triangular eyes cursed loudly. I wonder how this brat's parents raised him. He really doesn't know how to appreciate favors. Since you don't know what manners are, let me teach you. Another student with a flat-top haircut immediately attacked, slapping Xiaoping's face ruthlessly. Noisy. A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. He took a step forward, moving as fast as lightning. In an instant, he crossed 100 meters and slapped out with his palm. The air trembled, and quintessential energy condensed. With a bang, the flat-top haircut student's face took a solid slap. With a miserable cry, he was sent flying, spinning 5 or 6 times in the air. Even a few of his teeth had been knocked out. Then he smashed into the ground, unable to say anything. White foam came out of his mouth and his eyes rolled back. He collapsed on the ground, twitching like a leper. Everyone's pupils shrank. This was the first time they felt the power of Xiaoping's attack. That was the shadow of a person's life. It was definitely not an undeserved reputation. Xiaoping cast a sidelong glance at them. Keep shouting. Let's see if I can take your dog lives. Bastard. The group of people went crazy. They were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. They were angry and hateful. They could also hear the sarcasm in Xiaoping's words. He was clearly calling them dogs, Niezhen's lackeys. Too impudent. An angry shout rang out. Bang! As soon as he finished speaking, a cold light flashed in Niezhen's eyes. He suddenly attacked, punching out. A series of air explosions appeared around his arm, and a terrifying force erupted. He attacked from a distance of more than 100 meters. The power of this punch was extremely terrifying. It was like the roar of a wolf king. The force in the air almost condensed into a substance. The fist was like a seal, and even the ground shook at this moment. Xiaoping also attacked in an instant. He slashed out with his sword. Sword chi condensed and it was indestructible. Boom! The fist force and the sword chi collided, and the air shook thousands of times. Immediately, a huge crater was formed in the ground. Soil flew everywhere, and the surrounding weeds were all turned into powder. Many students were shocked. Although they had heard of Xiaoping's achievements in the past few days, they only realized how terrifying Wu Wudi was when he actually fought. He was extraordinary. Wolf Fang Fist. Niezhen shouted angrily and punched out repeatedly. Fist prints appeared in midair, and the roar of a wolf king could be heard in the void. The fist force was as sharp as teeth, penetrating everything. In just a few seconds he had punched out more than 100 times. It was as if 100 hungry wolves had appeared and were attacking Xiaoping with all their might. They wanted to bite him to death. The third form of the four-season sword technique. Rustling autumn wind. Xiaoping was not to be outdone. He displayed the third form of the four-season sword technique. At this moment he swung his sword. At this moment, the entire plain seemed to be filled with the aura of the autumn wind. It was filled with a murderous aura, and an extremely cold temperature descended. It was as if this aura could wither everything and take away the lives of countless living beings. With a slash of the sword, the weeds on the plain rapidly withered. Countless sword chi slashed out, carrying the aura of death, and bombarded Niezhen. Bang bang bang. Chapter 4:15. Ah! The dozen or so students who were watching the battle were also caught off guard. The force spread out in all directions, and their bodies were also hit by the powerful airflow. One by one, they let out blood-curdling screams as they were sent flying. How is this possible? What kind of sword chi is this? Many students were shocked. It was just the remnant power of the sword chi, but they felt an extremely lonely sword chi invade their bodies and enter their organs. Moreover, this sword chi could exterminate all life force. Even with the power of quintessential essence to resist it, they felt as if their life force was constantly being weakened. Immediately, 2 or 3 students could not resist the invasion of the terrifying sword chi. They immediately spat out a large mouthful of blood and fell to the ground, twitching, their faces pale. In a few breaths they died on the spot. Their bodies were grayish-white, like dried corpses. The energy in their bodies had been completely plundered by the lonely sword chi, leaving nothing behind. This was the autumn sword technique of the 4 seasons sword technique, bleak autumn wind. When the sword slashed out, all things would wither and reap the lives of countless creatures. It was filled with killing intent and was the move with the strongest killing intent. Once it was used, it would kill the enemy, annihilate the entire clan, and would not rest until the enemy was dead. Wolf Fang Fist. Sweeping the world. Niezhen shouted angrily. He did not care about his companions around him. His eyes only had Xiaoping's existence. He clenched his fists, and his body emitted an extremely terrifying aura. At this moment, a large amount of black hair surged out of his body. Even his head changed into the shape of a wolf, and the bloodline power in his body boiled. Rumble! In an instant, he blasted out hundreds of fist prints. Each fist print was like an ancient wolf king. The force had already condensed into a substance, and it roared in the grassland, shaking the world. The terrifying force swept in all directions, and the ground trembled at this moment. The area within a radius of several kilometers was within the attack range. The airflow was fearful, and it was like a void turbulence, tearing everything apart. 4 seasons sword technique, winter snow. Xiaoping immediately performed the winter sword technique. With a slash, the world changed, and the surrounding temperature plummeted. The moisture in the air quickly condensed into snow. Endless snow fell from the sky, and each snowflake gave off a dazzling light. It looked incredibly beautiful, as if it was a G realm. However, the nearby students were scared half to death. They could feel the extreme chill contained in these snowflakes. Once they touched them, they would immediately be frozen to death by the chill of the snowflakes. Even their blood would freeze. It looked beautiful but contained a fatal danger. Kill! Xiaoping slashed down with his sword. Countless snowflakes fell from the sky. Under the control of true essence, they condensed into snowballs. They immediately fell from the sky like meteors. They were extremely fast and had the power to shatter the earth. Bang bang bang. These snowballs fell and blasted towards Niezhen. They attacked the fist imprints and instantly turned the fist imprints into dust, leaving nothing behind. There were even large snowflakes falling from the sky. It was as if stars were falling from the sky, containing the power to destroy the world. Ah! Niezhen could not withstand it and was instantly smashed by these snowballs. His body felt as if it had been attacked by stars. Even his strong physique could not withstand it. His lungs were severely injured, and he could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. These snowballs even contained extreme chill. It was as if they were alive. They immediately invaded Niezhen's body, wanting to freeze his blood into ice cubes and reap his life. Too strong. The surrounding students were shocked. This showed Wu Wudi's combat strength. With one slash he could change the weather. This power was not something an ordinary martial master could achieve. He was clearly a peerless genius. Die! Xiaoping's eyes flashed coldly. He slashed down again, not giving Niezhen any time to breathe. 4 seasons sword technique, Continuous spring rain. With one slash, the water vapor in the sky condensed into raindrops. However, under the extreme cold they turned into ice particles. They were like sniper bullets. Under Xiaoping's control they attacked crazily. These ice particles had terrifying power. They could penetrate any rock, and even steel could not withstand them. Oh no! The nearby students could not help but cry out. If such an attack hit Niezhen, it would only take a second for his body to turn into a beehive. Damn it, bastard! You forced me to do this. Three-eyed wolf bloodline, third eye open. Niezhen roared. He was like an injured wolf king, forced into a desperate situation by the enemy. However, it was often at this moment that the wolf king was the most dangerous and the most fatal. With a boom, the originally tightly shut third eye opened at this moment. Suddenly, endless golden light burst out, as if it contained an extremely mysterious power. Xiaoping could see that there seemed to be a nebula vortex in the third eye. It slowly rotated and had the aura of death. Once it opened, it could control the life and death of the enemy. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. When the third eye opened, Niezhen no longer had any emotions. He was like a robot, and his emotions had been completely blocked. Even his eyes had turned white, like the surface of a mirror. His figure flickered, and his feet shifted in a small area. Countless ice particles attacked him in midair, but they could not harm him at all. All of them passed through his phantom image. With a few bangs, these ice particles slashed into the distance. In an instant, they pierced through a rock that weighed hundreds of tons, turning the rock into a beehive. Even the icy aura that surged out froze these crushed rocks into tiny pieces of ice. Legend has it that once the third eye of the three-eyed wolf bloodline opens, one's strength and speed will greatly increase. One's dynamic vision will also become extremely terrifying. The movement of everything in the world will become extremely slow in the third eye, perhaps even tens of times slower. Xiaoping stared at Niezhen. However, this also has a fatal weakness. You won't be able to hold on for long. When the power of the bloodline was activated, the energy in one's body would be rapidly depleted. It was impossible to hold on for too long. It's enough to kill you. Niezhen was cold and emotionless. He punched out as fast as a gust of wind. The speed and power of this punch were several times stronger than before. The void trembled, and the fist force passed through the air, spreading rapidly inch by inch. Bam! Xiaoping didn't even have time to react. When Niezhen's fist hit him, he was sent flying backward, sliding along the ground for a full kilometer, leaving a huge crater in the ground. The terrifying fist force passed through his defensive energy art and tried to injure his internal organs, but was blocked by Dark North's defensive energy art. Chapter 416. Go to hell. Niezhen's eyes revealed an extremely cold aura. His punches were merciless, like a wolf king in the dark grassland. Every punch carried a fatal killing intent. With his third eye open, he could observe Xiaoping's every move. No matter which direction the sword chi attacked, he could see it clearly, no matter how big or small it was. Bang! Bang! In midair, Xiaoping and Niezhen fought like two peerless beasts fighting. Qi vibrated, and their speed was so fast that they looked like two shadows wrapped in airflow. Every collision caused a huge pit to appear in the ground. Soil flew everywhere, and the surrounding rocks were shattered into powder. The cracks stretched for several kilometers, and the ground shook. The entire grassland became the battlefield of the two of them. Terrifying airflow erupted in all directions, and anyone who dared to approach would be severely injured by the airflow. Too strong. The surrounding students were all extremely shocked. Even though they were in the same realm, they felt inferior when they saw the combat power of the two. The difference was too great. Regardless of whether it was physical strength, speed, comprehension of martial skills, or combat talent, they were all far inferior to him. It was impossible for them to reach his level. If they were in each other's shoes, they would probably be killed in an instant. As the battle between the two became more and more intense, the surroundings were filled with dust. Yellow sand rolled, and they could not see the battle clearly. They could only see two shadows colliding, and terrifying explosions erupted. Wolf Fang Fist. I, the unique and righteous. Niezhen's body surged with an extremely domineering aura, and a huge three-eyed wolf shadow seemed to appear behind him. The air was shaking, and the power of his true essence and bloodline boiled. He punched through the air, containing an incomparably domineering aura. He was like an unparalleled wolf king, ruling over thousands of wild wolves, exuding the domineering aura of a king. Countless fist forces gathered together and condensed into substance. This punch had the power to shatter mountains. Dong! Xiaping also slashed out with his sword, and the tyrannical sword chi collided with it. However, it completely shattered his sword chi in an instant. The terrifying fist force penetrated in, and instantly blasted on his body. With a boom, his body flew backward. An extremely terrifying penetrating force penetrated in, wanting to injure his lungs. However, when Dark North's protective technique circulated, it was like a stream of water, constantly removing the fist force. It was as if it had been tempered thousands of times, constantly tempering his body. Bang bang bang. In the blink of an eye, the medicinal efficacy within Xiaping's body was rapidly refined. Suddenly, a massive amount of true essence was produced, and it unexpectedly connected two of his secondary meridians. True essence flowed into him like a stream of water, constantly tempering his meridians and strengthening his body. Up until now, he had opened 4 meridians, and his strength had greatly increased. He could feel the dark red true yuan surging in the depths of his dantian. It was boiling like lava and contained a terrifying power. Once it exploded, it would shake the heavens and the earth. Not bad. Xiaping was in a good mood. The more he fought, the more he could stimulate his body's potential. If he continued like this, he might soon be able to clear all 12 meridians and reach the peak of the first heaven of the martial master realm. What? A cold light flashed in Niezhen's eyes. He felt that Wu Wudi's aura seemed to have become stronger. He was clearly at a disadvantage and was being suppressed by him, but he was still getting stronger. It was too strange. Even when his punches landed on Wu Wudi's body, his strength was constantly weakened by Wu Wudi's protective cultivation technique. He couldn't hurt Wu Wudi at all. Even though his third eye could see through Wu Wudi's every move, it was useless if he couldn't break through Wu Wudi's defense. Furthermore, the power of his bloodline could not last for too long. If he still couldn't break through Wu Wudi's defense, he was afraid that when the time came, he would become a turtle in a jar. Thinking of this, he wanted to retreat. Although he was incomparably arrogant, it did not mean that he was stupid. If he continued to fight a battle that he had no chance of winning, there would be no good outcome. It was better to retreat for now, think of a countermeasure later, and then come back. Trying to escape? You can't escape. Xiaping immediately sensed Niezhen's actions. His body revealed a deep murderous aura, and his aura surged. At this stage of the battle, he would definitely not let Niezhen escape. Since they had become mortal enemies, there was only one outcome: kill. Can't escape? You're talking nonsense. You're just relying on a protective cultivation technique to barely stay alive. What right do you have to say such big words? Niezhen sneered. I admit that your third eye is very powerful. It can see through any movement of a warrior. Your dynamic vision is very strong, and you can capture any movement of a warrior. Xiaping clenched his fists. However, being able to see it doesn't mean that you can react. He had originally wanted to use the 4-season swordsmanship to kill Niezhen, but now it seemed that it was impossible. What? As soon as he finished speaking, Niezhen instantly felt an extremely dangerous aura pass through Xiaping's body. He saw that a pair of transparent wings seemed to have appeared on the back of the kid in front of him. Vaguely, there seemed to be dense, strange patterns appearing on his skin. The surrounding air seemed to be attracted to this kid, forming a huge vortex. It was as if he was the master of the airflow. Swoosh! Chapter 417. A sword slashed down from midair, and a tyrannical sword chi erupted. Niezhen endured the pain in his body and operated his quintessential essence. He suddenly jumped to the side, and like a wolf king, he instantly moved dozens of meters away. Dong! When the sword chi slammed into the ground, it created a 100-meter-long gash. Cracking sounds rang out as the 10 or so boulders in the distance were split in half, sending rubble flying everywhere. The killing intent contained in the sword chi was earth-shattering, and contained a desolate aura. The weeds growing on the ground withered rapidly as their life force was taken away and turned yellow. Don't even think of running. Xiaoping attacked like lightning and did not show mercy. He waved the long sword in his hand and countless sword qi slashed out, forming a large sword qi net that enveloped Niezhen's body in an instant. Damn it! Niezhen roared like an injured wolf king. He was filled with grief and indignation. He punched out crazily, and a tyrannical fist force exploded and bombarded the sword qi. But now that he was injured, his combat power had been reduced. Xiaoping's combat power was still at its peak and was even increasing. How could his strength be a match for Yi Futian? With a few bangs, Niezhen could not withstand the explosion of the sword qi at all. His fist force was instantly torn apart, and his whole body was sent flying like a piece of straw. His body skidded across the ground for more than 100 meters before coming to a stop. His lungs were once again severely injured, and a large amount of blood stained his clothes. Even a few of his ribs were broken. Such intense pain spread throughout his body, making Niezhen feel unprecedented humiliation. One had to know what kind of person Niezhen was. He was the descendant of the dignified wolf king Niawudao, and had the blood of a king flowing in his veins. He was invincible in Ares College and was the future king. He was born to be the wolf king who stood above countless warriors. But now he was being suppressed by someone who even wanted to kill him. How could he endure such humiliation? Die! Xiaoping leaped from afar. His wings flapped as he glided in the air. With a long sword in hand, he slashed down from the sky. A terrifying sword qi exploded and condensed into a solid form, wanting to give Niezhen a fatal blow. What? Suddenly, he felt an extremely dangerous aura erupt from Niezhen's body. He saw the kid suddenly take out a copper mirror. As the other party poured his true essence into it, the copper mirror began to tremble and emit an extremely terrifying aura. A terrifying golden light immediately shot out from the copper mirror at an extremely fast speed. At the same time, this golden light contained a terrifying energy that could pierce through everything. Xiaoping instinctively controlled his wings and used the Kuimping steps to shift to the side. With a swoosh, the golden light swept past, tearing through the air and even burning it. He could feel the tyrannical power of this golden light. A mountain in the distance was immediately shot by the golden light, and the entire mountain was pierced. Huge rocks exploded on the spot, and some of the gravel was even turned into powder. This is a prized artifact? A cold glint flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. He immediately recognized the palm-sized copper mirror that Niezhen was carrying. It was a treasure and should be of the same grade as his moon-shooting bow. After coming to the Cloud Realm, he had not seen anyone else with a prized artifact. He did not expect to see such a treasure on Niezhen's body. Under the activation of the true essence, the power of this treasure seemed to be incomparably terrifying. It had the power to kill a martial master. Even though Xiaoping was very confident in his protective cultivation method, he did not dare to take the power of this copper mirror head-on. It's your honor to die under my golden light mirror. Die! Niezhen's expression was ferocious. Based on his arrogance, he would have disdained using external objects. However, now was not the time for him to continue being arrogant. If he did not kill this kid as soon as possible, it would be his turn to die when the kid's power was exhausted. Swoosh! 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 In an instant he repeatedly activated the copper mirror, and rays of terrifying golden light shot towards Xiaoping. It seemed to form a web of death that wanted to completely tear Xiaoping's body into pieces. Xiaoping ran around the grassland using the Kuimping steps. He operated the true essence in his body and wandered around like a Kuimping. Bang! 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 Rays of golden light shot out and immediately blasted a huge pit in the grassland. Hundreds of tons of soil flew out and smashed into the ground. Under the bombardment of the golden light, the soil was scorched by the terrifying friction and produced golden flames. This kind of power was extremely tyrannical. An ordinary martial master would not be able to withstand it at all. This was also why the Wolf King, Niawudao, had placed this copper mirror on Niezhen for his safety. This was a great killing weapon that was not inferior to any super technological weapon. You think I don't have a prized artifact just because you have one? What a joke! Xiaoping instantly ran a kilometer away. He immediately took out the moon shooting bow from his spatial ring and nocked an arrow. At this moment, he felt an unprecedented excitement from the moon shooting bow. Silver inscriptions appeared on the bow's body and seemed to faintly resonate with the copper mirror. It was as if it was excited to meet its own kind. At the same time, Xiaoping infused his true essence and mental strength into the bow. He felt that the moon shooting bow seemed to be different from before. It had unprecedented power. Chapter 418. It's too powerful. Xiaoping was incomparably shocked. If he used the moon shooting bow, he would probably be able to kill a third heaven martial master. No one would be able to block one arrow. Even a genius like Niezhen could not block it. His head had been blown off by one arrow and he died without a complete corpse. However, this arrow had consumed too much quintessential essence. He felt that his body was slightly weak, and even his mental strength had been greatly depleted. This was because this arrow not only used quintessential essence, but it also consumed mental strength. It was a move that consumed a lot of energy. Although it has consumed a lot of energy now, it is only because my strength is too weak and my quintessential essence is too meager. If I advance to a higher realm and reach the Grandmaster realm, I will probably be able to use treasured weapons at will. Xiaoping clenched his fists tightly. Furthermore, through this battle, he had also discovered some of the mysteries of the moon shooting bow. There was actually no need for a bow or arrow. He could use it by condensing quintessential essence into the force of the bow and arrow. If he did this, its power would increase greatly. It was indeed an incomparably mystical treasure. That's right, this brat still has the treasured weapon, the golden light mirror. I can't waste it. Xiaoping immediately went forward and picked up the golden light mirror that Niezhen had left behind. At this moment, the golden light mirror had lost its master's control and was already dim and lifeless. It was no different from an ordinary mirror. If one had not seen the power it had just unleashed, it would be impossible to imagine that it was a treasure. However, from the mysterious inscriptions on the mirror frame, he could still feel a trace of the mysterious aura of this mirror. Xiaoping turned around and immediately sensed that the students in the distance seemed to want to approach. Currently, he had consumed most of the quintessential essence in his body. It was not suitable for him to continue fighting with these enemies. If he was surrounded, it would probably be a little troublesome. He immediately placed the mirror and the pills that Niezhen had left behind in his space ring. Then he used the Kuanpeng steps and fled into the distance. In a few breaths, he had traveled several kilometers and disappeared into the horizon of this huge plain. At this moment, the students at the side heard Niezhen scream and were extremely anxious. They did not know what had happened, so they gritted their teeth and wanted to get closer to see what had happened. When they passed through the surrounding sand and dust, they finally arrived at the center of this area. They were shocked to see a headless corpse lying on the ground. The ground was stained with a large amount of blood. No way, this is Big Brother Nya. A student trembled as he stared at the corpse on the ground. He could not believe his eyes. The famous Niezhen of Aries College was actually dead. That's impossible. That's definitely not Big Brother Nya. It shouldn't be that bastard Wu Wudi. Another student didn't believe it at all and retorted loudly, "This is indeed Big Brother Nya. Don't you see the clothes he's wearing? Big Brother Nya wore this kind of clothes before. He's already dead, killed by Wu Wudi." A student at the side screamed crazily, mercilessly exposing this fact. "Ah, that damned Wu Wudi. How dare he? How dare he kill Big Brother Nya? He's courting death. He's courting death. Who is Big Brother Nya? He's the grandson of Wolf King Nya Wudao. How dare he kill Big Brother Nya? There's no place for him in the entire Cloud Realm. No one can protect him. Inform Aries College and the Nya family immediately. Report this matter and kill Wu Wudi. How dare he commit murder in the Cloud Mountain Range? This bastard definitely can't escape. I must avenge Big Brother Nya and kill that bastard Wu Wudi." The group of students roared in a frenzy. Their anger had reached a boiling point, and their hearts were filled with fear. Niezhen was actually killed. They couldn't imagine how terrifying the Wolf King Nya Wudao's rage would be, and they would probably be implicated as well. They didn't know how much trouble it would cause. Therefore, all of them hated Wu Wuti so much that they even wanted to kill him. Soon, the news of Niezhen being killed by Wu Wuti spread throughout the central region. Countless students learned about it. This was like a heavy bomb that set off a huge wave. No way, Ares College's Niezhen is dead. He was killed by Wu Wuti. Even his head exploded. He died a horrible death. Wu Wuti is crazy. Does he know what kind of person Niezhen is? He's from a sovereign family and the grandson of Wolf King Niawudao. He actually dared to kill such a person. He must have a death wish. Once Wolf King Niawudao is enraged, he will massacre the city. No one can stop him. Lunatic, Wu Wuti is a lunatic. We can't provoke him. He can even do such a thing. We can't chase after him anymore. He even dared to kill Niezhen. Who else wouldn't he dare to kill? This is too terrifying. Niezhen has the three-eyed wolf bloodline and many trump cards. If he can still kill him, how strong is Wu Wuti? Many students were shocked. They were completely stunned by the news. They couldn't believe that the so-called invincible Niezhen had been killed and his head exploded. Some students who had wanted to chase after Wu Wuti and snatch the life elixir from him all retreated. They didn't dare to chase after Wu Wuti anymore. After all, even a genius like Niezhen had died at Wu Wuti's hands. Even if they tried to chase after him, they would only be sending themselves to their deaths. Wu Wuti. Chou Wanqian from the Black and White Academy clenched his fists, and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. He knew how terrifying Niezhen was. Once he opened his third eye, he would be invincible. He even had a treasure as a trump card. Unless a tyrannical demon appeared, it was basically impossible to kill him. Even Chou Wanqian didn't have this ability. But now Niezhen had been killed and he couldn't even escape. This was a little scary. It could only be said that Wu Wuti's threat was beyond his imagination. What a pity. He actually killed Niezhen. How stupid. Chou Wanqian shook his head. He knew that Wu Wuti was hopeless. He had already killed Niezhen, so one could imagine what the Nie family would think. They would definitely be furious, and when that happened, Wu Wuti wouldn't be able to run. He actually killed Niezhen. Good lad. Chongbin from the Celestial Divine Academy also heard the news. He couldn't help but clench his fists. He had been sent flying by Wu Wuti with a single move. This was the greatest humiliation of his life. When had he ever been sent flying like an ant? As someone with the Fire Lion bloodline, this was intolerable. He had to take revenge. Otherwise, his Chong clan's face would be completely thrown away by him. I have to find him in advance and kill him. Otherwise, if the Nie family finds out, I won't be able to take revenge for the rest of my life. Chongbin clenched his fists, and a terrifying flame appeared in his eyes. His golden hair flew up and he looked like a lion. Chapter 419. In a cave somewhere in the Cloud and Mist Mountain Range. At this time, Xiaoping had left the central area and was hiding in a cave somewhere on the outskirts of the Cloud and Mist Mountain Range. At this time, he had eliminated the ore on his body and changed his appearance. It was estimated that no one would be able to find him in a short time. Didi, at this time, the system's voice sounded. Congratulations to the host for angering the heaven-devouring demon Venerable and gaining 5 million hatred points. Arouse the hatred of all students and gain 500,000 hatred points. After a few prompts, Xiaoping immediately found that he had gained 5 million hatred points this time. In addition to the previous ones, he had a total of more than 6 million hatred points, which was a huge sum of money. However, he did not expect that angering the heaven-devouring demon Venerable would get so much hatred points. One must know that the heaven-devouring demon Venerable did not have an endless hatred towards him. It was just disgust and there was no killing intent. However, it gave birth to 5 million hatred points. One can imagine how terrifying the heaven-devouring demon Venerable was. It was estimated that even the king-level powerhouses were not as good as him. However, he also felt that he was extremely lucky to have met a sealed demon Venerable. If it was a living and kicking demon Venerable, daring to anger the other party would be purely courting death. However, the system prompt did not end there and continued. The hatred points have reached 1 million. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the system gift pack. Big gift pack? What is it? Xiaoping's heart moved and he immediately asked. He always remembered that when the hatred points reached 1 million, the system would provide a big gift pack. He had always been looking forward to it. The big gift pack has arrived. Does the host accept the inheritance? If the host accepts, then he will receive a Hell Golden Crow bloodline. The system replied. Hell Golden Crow bloodline? What is this? Xiaoping blinked his eyes. He had heard that the Golden Crow was a divine beast, the sun in the sky, and had the supreme bloodline. However, he was not very clear about what kind of divine beast the Hell Golden Crow was. The system said, legend has it that there are 10 suns in the sky, each sun is a Golden Crow divine bird. But the 10 suns rose at the same time, causing the earth to dry up, the rivers to dry up, and the people to live in misery. There was an ancient god who was furious and used his magical power to shoot down the 9 suns. As a result, the souls of these 9 golden crows fell into the endless 9 hells. They were unwilling to die and had great resentment. As a result, the 9 suns merged into one and became the golden crows of hell. It was born from endless resentment, and grew by absorbing the aura of the 9 hells. It itself contained the power of the sun, which was extremely young. Thus, it possessed the mighty power to suppress countless fiend gods in hell. It traversed the heavens and became the lord of fiend gods in hell. If the golden crow is the son of the human world, then the golden crow of hell is the son of hell, spanning across the 9 hells of hell and the 6 paths of reincarnation. Because it is formed from the fusion of 9 suns, the power of the infernal golden crow is countless times more terrifying. Once it is born, it will possess world-destroying might. This kind of bloodline cannot be allowed to exist in the world, and will suffer the wrath of the heavens. Xiaoping was very moved. This bloodline was definitely an incredible treasure. He didn't know how much hatred it was worth. He didn't expect it to be given as a big gift by the system. It was really unimaginable. It must be known that the three-eyed wolf bloodline, once activated, has dozens of times more combat power than ordinary people. This is the benefit of the king's bloodline. It can have all kinds of martial arts supernatural powers, and suppress many martial arts experts. If he also inherited the infernal golden crow bloodline, it would definitely increase his combat power and become more powerful. He felt that the system seemed to be promoting his growth step by step. Whenever he reached a certain level, he would be given all kinds of powerful treasures to speed up his cultivation. What will happen if I inherit it now? Xiaoping asked. The system said, the host will sleep for 7 days and 7 nights until the body is completely transformed. Can I merge it later? Xiaoping was a little helpless. After all, there were still a few days before the Cloud and Mist mountain range would close. He couldn't sleep for 7 days and 7 nights at this time. If he was locked in the Cloud and Mist mountain range, he would be finished. Yes, the system said. Xiaoping nodded. By the way, help me exchange for the 3rd level of the 7 arrows technique and the Dark North body protection technique. He has been promoted to the martial master realm and is qualified to practice the 3rd level of these 2 divine skills. Okay, each skill costs 500,000 hate points, a total of 1 million. The system said it deducted 1 million hate points from Xiaoping at once, and now he only has more than 5 million hate points left. Crash. At this time, the system immediately instilled in about the Dark North body protection technique and the 3rd level of the 7 arrows technique. A large number of graphic information immediately poured into Xiaoping's mind. So this is the 3rd level of the Dark North body protection technique. Xiaoping suddenly realized that he felt that his Dark North body protection technique had now entered the 3rd level, and his qigong vibrated and immediately formed a transparent protective shield. The ability of the 2nd level of the Dark North body protection technique is to rebound, but once it is activated, the qi shield will cover every corner of his body, so that his body has no blind spots. But there is also a drawback. Although it is evenly defended in every corner of the body, if the enemy concentrates on a certain point of power, they can break through Xiaoping's defense and will still be hurt. But when you reach the 3rd level of the Dark North body protection technique, you can move your mind at will. As long as you move your mind and integrate your spiritual force into your qigong, you can increase the power of the qigong defense to a certain part and enhance it locally. This is a huge leap, which is the performance of slowly mastering this technique with a taste of running freely. The third level of the 7 arrows technique. Xiaoping's eyes showed a cold light. He grabbed a stone in his hand and smashed it out in an instant. Immediately, the stone was winding in the air like a snake. With a bang, the stone penetrated the mountain wall and penetrated dozens of meters, with amazing destructive power. Spiritual force control. Xiaoping was very surprised. This is the mystery of the third level of the 7 arrows technique. A trace of spiritual force is engraved on the hidden weapon. Even if it is 4 or 5 kilometers away, it can be accurately controlled. If he used the hidden weapon all over the sky before, it could only attack objects that did not move. If the other party dodged, it could be easily avoided. There were flaws. But at the third level, even if the enemy dodged, as long as he moved his mind, he could change the trajectory of the hidden weapon, chase the enemy, and completely kill him. The power of such hidden weapons is increased several times. It can be said that such a tyrannical technique is like controlling a treasure, with infinite power. Concentrate on cultivation. Xiaoping clenched his fists and got the third level of the mental cultivation method of the 2 techniques. Although he got the system, he did not practice hard and thoroughly integrated the 2 techniques into the body. He could not control them freely. Chapter 420. Bang! In a cave in the Cloud Mist mountain range, a figure broke out of the cave. The surrounding rocks cracked and a terrifying aura of a ferocious beast filled the air, shaking the forest. This person is Xiaoping. After 3 days and 3 nights of cultivation, he finally completely mastered the head-piercing 7 arrows technique and the third level of the Dark North body protection technique, which also greatly increased his strength. Even after taking the many pills obtained from Niezhan and the others, he has opened 4 meridians in succession. Now he has opened a total of 8 meridians. He still needs to open 4 meridians before he can reach the peak of the first heaven of Martial Master. Boom! Xiaoping punched through the air and smashed towards a small mountain in the distance. The fist force vibrated and instantly pierced through the small mountain, creating a big hole. He stomped hard and with a boom his whole body jumped into the air, jumping 100 meters high. 3 or 4 terrifying cracks immediately appeared on the ground and the earth trembled. These cracks stretched for 2 or 3 kilometers, and even a small mountain in the distance was about to split open. Now Xiaoping has the power to smash a ferocious beast into minced meat. A casual punch has the strength of hundreds of thousands of kilograms. It can be said that he himself is a ferocious beast. Moreover, his mental power had also covered a kilometer. Everything within a kilometer radius was under his mental power's perception. Not even the slightest bit of movement could hide from him. Even if it is a third heaven of Martial Master, he can probably match it now. With a bang, Xiaoping fell to the ground and immediately smashed out a deep pit with a diameter of tens of meters. People within a few kilometers can hear this terrifying vibration. There seems to be the smell of spiritual medicine. Xiaoping's nose twitched slightly. He can feel a trace of the smell of spiritual medicine coming from a few kilometers away. Although the water of life in the Cloud Mist mountain range is the most precious, it does not mean that there are no other treasures that can compare to the water of life, such as some precious spiritual medicine. If used properly, the value of those spiritual medicine is no less than the water of life. Because of this, even if many students know that they can't get the water of life, they still hope to stay in the Cloud Mist mountain range and find all kinds of treasures. After all, this is a rare opportunity. There are not many places like this where they can pick spiritual medicine at will. All such spiritual lands are either occupied by ferocious beasts, or become the territory of mighty figures. Ordinary martial artists have no chance at all. Whoosh! Xiaoping's silhouette flickered as he executed the Kuanpeng steps, manipulating the air currents and gliding rapidly. In just a few breaths of time, he arrived at a lake and saw a silver lotus growing at the edge of the lake. This lotus swayed in the water, emitting a faint silver light. The air was also filled with an enchanting medicinal fragrance, causing people to become restless. No matter how one looked at it, this was a precious spirit medicine. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At the same time, dozens of students ran over from afar. They seemed to have been attracted by the fragrance as well. They were extremely fast and arrived at the lake one after another. Haha, the fragrance of spiritual herbs and the appearance of treasures. There are indeed spiritual herbs here. Great, my God, if I'm not mistaken. This is the 100-year moon heart lotus. We're rich. It's said that this kind of spirit herb is born from the yin energy of heaven and earth, and absorbs the essence of the moon. It takes 100 years for it to completely take shape. Its medicinal power is extremely strong and rare in the world. Although this kind of 100-year moon heart lotus is a little inferior to the water of life, it can still be considered a precious treasure. We've been working hard in the Cloud Mountain range for so long. It's time for us to obtain the treasure. Many students were discussing spiritedly. Their faces were filled with excitement as they looked at the moon heart lotus at the edge of the lake with fiery eyes. There were immediately people who wanted to take action and pick this moon heart lotus. Junior Su, I feel that this moon heart lotus is very suitable for you. Why don't I pick it and give it to you? The person who spoke was Mu Haoran. He revealed a generous look. However, those with discerning eyes could see that this kid wanted to pursue Suji. However, not only Mu Haoran, the group of guys around him also looked at Suji with fiery eyes because Suji's charm was really too moving. Wearing a white dress, her figure was exquisite. Her pair of big eyes seemed to be able to speak, and her body emitted an otherworldly aura, like a fairy. It was estimated that not many people could resist her charm. At this moment, she had already advanced to the 9th heaven of martial disciple realm. The bloodline in her body seemed to have been further developed, and already had a trace of the embryonic form of a beauty that could bring disaster to a country. Once she advanced to the martial master realm and activated the demon fox bloodline, she would really be a beauty that could cause the downfall of a city. She could casually wave her finger and charm a group of people, regardless of gender or age. Senior Mu, this isn't too good. The moon heart lotus is a treasure that everyone found together. It should be shared with everyone. Suji rolled her eyes and revealed a trace of craftiness. In the air, there seemed to be an unknown ripple that swept in all directions. It contained a strange power that seeped into the hearts of the students present, making it impossible for them to detect it. No. Other than Junior Su, no one else has the qualifications to possess this kind of 100-year moon heart lotus. As the saying goes, a treasured sword should be given to a hero and a beautiful woman should be given to a beautiful woman. Don't you guys agree? Mu Haoran cried out. He was immediately bewitched by it. Yes. The 100-year moon heart lotus belongs to Junior Mu. I will fight with whoever dares to snatch it from her. We have plenty of treasures. The 100-year moon heart lotus is nothing. Don't be so polite with me. If you continue to be so polite, we will fight with you. The group of students' faces turned red as if they were injected with chicken blood. They shouted loudly and wished that they could immediately jump into a sea of fire for Suji. Junior Su, don't be anxious. I will help you pick the 100-year moon heart lotus. A few students shouted. They were the ones who took action. After saying that, they wanted to walk towards the lake. However, Xiaoping stood out and blocked in front of these students. There's someone here? At this time, the group of students noticed that someone had already arrived at the lake. They were immediately shocked. It can't be. Isn't that guy Xiaoping? Why is he here? Someone immediately recognized the person who appeared in front of them. It was the famous Xiaoping. After all, this guy was an influential person in Yanhuang University. They would recognize him even if he turned into ashes. Holy crap! Why did the scourge Xiaoping appear here? After entering the Cloud Mist Mountain range, this guy disappeared. He didn't cause any trouble. I thought he was dead. How could he be dead? Good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years. How could this guy die so easily? It's good that he didn't die. It's time for us to take our revenge. Outside, we are still Martial 9th layer. Now all of us have advanced to Martial Master. Our strength is more than 10 times stronger. This time we must beat the shit out of this guy. The heavens have eyes. They gave us the chance to meet this damn scourge Xiaoping. He deserves our revenge. If this isn't retribution, then what is it? Even the heavens want to deal with him. When Mu Haoran and the others saw Xiaoping appear, they all seemed to be injected with chicken blood. They even completely ignored Suji's charm. They clenched their teeth and stared at Xiaoping, wishing they could tear him into pieces. Suji's face was filled with hatred. She clenched her teeth in anger. All her efforts were wasted. If she continued, the 100-year moon heart lotus would definitely be hers. Now it was blocked. Chapter 421. Hey, isn't this the president of the Kendo Club, Mu Haoran? Xiaoping also recognized Mu Haoran and greeted him enthusiastically. I haven't seen you for a long time. I didn't expect you to be so energetic. I haven't seen you advance to the martial master realm for 3 years. Now you actually advanced. Did you take drugs? Take your ass. Mu Haoran's face turned green. He couldn't help but clench his fists. He stayed in the martial artist's 9th layer for 3 years on purpose. His purpose was to enter the Cloud Mountain range. Now that he entered the Cloud Mountain range, he naturally didn't need to suppress his cultivation, and immediately broke through to the martial master realm. But in this bastard's mouth, he became a loser who relied on drugs to advance. He was clearly mocking him. This was a slap in his face in front of everyone. Hey, isn't this the president of the Saber Club, Zhu Zijian? I didn't expect you to come too. Xiaoping ignored Mu Haoran and greeted Zhu Zijian. You look like a dog now. Why didn't you greet me just now? Could it be that you've become arrogant after you advanced to the martial master realm and started to look down on everyone? Arrogant my ass. Zhu Zijian's mouth twitched. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He was indignant. Why do I have to greet such a shameless and despicable person? He didn't greet me and this guy said that I became arrogant. Why? I have never seen such sarcasm. I kinda wanted to punch this guy's face. Enough. Suji couldn't stand it anymore. If this continued, someone might get a heart attack because of this bastard Xiaoping. What's wrong with you? Do you want to fight with us? She glared at Xiaoping. Not really. Xiaoping waved his hand. It's just that I'm very excited after not seeing you for a long time. Actually, I want to bury the hatchet. Suji's mouth twitched. You bastard, are you trying to bury the hatchet by saying these words? Clearly, you want to continue to pick a fight. Bury your ass. Mu Haoran roared. Last time you beat us up so badly. You even beat up my entire club. We became the laughingstock of the entire Yanhuang University. You still want to bury the hatchet with us? If we don't flip out, do you really fucking think that honest people like us have no temper? He cursed at Xiaoping. Why bother? Xiaoping said earnestly, as the saying goes, no discord, no concord. Men's friendship begins here. Although we have many conflicts before, there is no conflict that can't be solved. Settle my ass. Zhu Zijian also scolded loudly. Are you afraid now that you've advanced to the martial master realm? I'm telling you it's too late. It's too late, you know? Previously, we begged you to bury the hatchet, but that's not what you said. You even beat us up and sent us to the hospital for a few days. We were in so much pain that our hearts were torn apart. Now you know fear. Let me tell you, this matter isn't that easy to solve. He stared at Xiaoping coldly. Why are you talking nonsense with this fellow? Let's beat him up first. I clearly remember the way this bastard beat me up. It was so painful that I cried for 3 days and 3 nights. God has eyes, finally giving me the chance to take revenge. I will definitely cherish it. Everyone, don't be too heavy-handed. Leave some for everyone. 1 punch per person is enough. Enough my ass, we must beat him until he can't take care of himself. Many students stared at Xiaoping, each of them gnashing their teeth wanting to beat Xiaoping up. Suji was completely speechless. How hateful is this kid? Everyone wants to beat him up, but no one has a friendly attitude towards Xiaoping. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. As soon as the voice fell, 3 first-layer martial master students jumped out. They simply couldn't stand Xiaoping for a second. In an instant they attacked. Their fists were like tigers, powerful and heavy. In a triangular formation, the 3 surrounded Xiaoping. They must not let Xiaoping escape. Scram. Seeing this, Xiaoping immediately attacked. He struck out with his palm. The tyrannical palm energy vibrated, spreading in all directions. Even the air was condensed into a solid vibration. With a bang, the 3 students who wanted to attack Xiaoping were immediately sent flying like rubber balls. They flew for a full kilometer before crashing into a big tree and stopping. With a few cracking sounds, The big tree was immediately smashed into several pieces, producing a large amount of sawdust. Ah! They couldn't help but let out a blood-curdling scream, fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth and actually fainted. What? Seeing this scene, Mu Haoran and the others were dumbfounded. Although these students were ordinary martial masters, no matter how ordinary they were still martial masters. This kind of person had already completely grasped true essence. They could use water as a sword and condense qi into a saber. Their attack power was more than several times that of a martial master. They could defeat dozens of martial masters with their bare hands. But what exactly was going on now? The three martial masters joined hands, but they were sent flying by Xiaoping's casual palm strike. They even fainted. They simply couldn't withstand this kid's palm strike. It was too exaggerated. Martial Master Realm. Suji's beautiful eyes widened as she stared at Xiaoping. No way. Did you advance to the Martial Master Realm? She couldn't believe her eyes, but the aura that Xiaoping revealed just now and the move he used was clearly a true essence attack. If he wasn't a true Martial Master Realm, it would be impossible to display such a powerful move and such a terrifying attack power. The problem was that not long ago, this kid was only a Martial Master 7th Heaven or 8th Heaven, but now he had advanced to the Martial Master Realm. The speed of his progress was too incredible. That's right, I have been promoted to the Martial Master Realm for a long time. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back, his clothes fluttering without any wind. He exuded a trace of the aura of a martial Dao master, looking down on the world. Impossible! A student couldn't help but scream. We have worked hard and spent God knows how long to be promoted to the Martial Master Realm. You are just a new student who has just entered the school, and you are from planet Yanhuang. How can you improve so fast? What did you do? He thought that even if he cultivated evil martial arts, it was impossible to cultivate so fast. Could it be that you didn't appear during this period of time because you had a fortuitous encounter and ate some kind of precious elixir, which greatly increased your strength and broke through to the Martial Master Realm? Zhu Zijian couldn't help but speculate. Everyone also couldn't help but nod. This was the closest to the truth of the matter. If it wasn't for a fortuitous encounter and the extremely precious elixir, it would be impossible to improve so fast. Chapter 422. Thinking of this possibility, Mu Haoran and the others felt extremely aggrieved. They had endured a lot of hardships and endured for a long time to achieve what they had today. Furthermore, after entering the Cloud Mountain range, they had experienced a lot, spent a lot of energy, encountered dangers and searched for treasures. However, they did not gain much. However, this brat casually entered the Cloud Mountain range and obtained treasures. He even broke through to the Martial Master Realm, and was on equal footing with the older students. Even if this brat did not obtain the Water of Life, obtaining the mysterious spirit herb was more than enough. None of your business. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, let's be honest. The reason why I have my current cultivation is all because of hard work. Training in the winter and training in the summer, I rely on hard work. I definitely did not take any shortcuts. As for obtaining fortuitous encounters, obtaining spirit herbs or secret treasures, there is absolutely no such thing. Bullshit, continue bullshit. Suji and the others looked at Xiaoping with disdain. If there was no fortuitous encounter or precious spirit herb, even a genius would not be able to improve so quickly. Did this bastard really think that martial arts cultivation was something that could be improved just because he wanted to? Only fools from the mental hospital would believe this guy's words. Without a doubt, this bastard must have gotten his hands on some extremely precious spiritual medicine to be able to have the cultivation he has today. The reason why he said this now was probably because he was afraid that others would target the treasures on him, so he purposely said that he did not obtain any spirit herbs. They all saw through this guy's cunning mind. Sticking up his tail, they all knew whether this guy was taking a dump or a piss. Bullshit luck. Thinking of this, Zhu Zijian and the others secretly cursed. They were so jealous that their intestines turned green. The difference between people was too big. It was almost unimaginable. How could this despicable, shameless bully bastard find a 1,000-year-old spirit herb and obtain a fortuitous encounter when he went out? How could he find a powerful martial inheritance from an old grandpa when he fell off a cliff? Honest people like them who cultivated honestly and were good people didn't get any treasures at all. The heavens were really too unfair and unreasonable. They cursed Xia Ping in their hearts for being struck by lightning. It would be unreasonable if such a person did not get struck by lightning when he went out. Cut the crap. Xia Ping stared at Mu Haoren and the others. He clenched his fists and said, "Earlier, all of you were very arrogant. You were shouting that you wanted to kill me. You even said that you wanted to teach me a lesson. You beat me up until I couldn't take care of myself. What do you guys think? How do we solve this?" He stared at Mu Haoren and the others viciously. When Mu Haoren and the others heard these words, their faces turned pale. Only now did they remember that this fellow had already advanced to the martial master realm. His strength was many times stronger than before. Just now, when 3 martial masters made a move, they were all sent flying by this brat with a single slap, unable to take care of themselves. This brat was extremely strong. He was definitely a ferocious beast. One could imagine that this fellow's strength had increased tremendously. When he was in school, he was only a martial artist 8th heaven, but he was already able to do as he pleased. Now that he had advanced to the martial master realm, wouldn't he be able to defy the heavens? Probably none of the people present were a match for him. Even if they attacked together, they would not be suppressed. Haha, Junior Xia, we were actually just joking earlier. After all, we are all classmates of Yanhuang University. We have the friendship of being classmates. Why would we shout that we wanted to kill you? We even shouted that we would make you unable to take care of yourself. Mu Haoren tried to bluff his way out of this. That's right, that's right. This matter is purely a misunderstanding. We are all classmates of Yanhuang University. There is no hatred between us. Why must we be so fixated on what is in front of us? There are no eternal enemies in this world. Everything can be solved through discussion. After all, this is a harmonious society. Why don't we take advantage of this time to bury the hatchet? This is good, this is good. I think it is time to stop the conflict. As the saying goes, no discord, no concord, no love. In the future, we will be close brothers. Many students started shouting, wanting to dissolve the hatred between them and Xia Ping, and become close brothers. Su Ji's expression was strange. Once upon a time, these people were shouting that they wanted to kill Xia Ping and take revenge. It was as if they had an irreconcilable hatred with Xia Ping, and would not rest until one of them was dead. Now that they saw Xia Ping advance to the martial master realm, all of them were terrified and wanted to bury the hatchet. There was no other way. Previously, when they advanced to the martial master realm, their strength increased greatly. They thought that they could crush Xia Ping. However, who would have thought that Xia Ping was so abnormal? He was completely unreasonable and broke through at the drop of a hat. It could be said that Xia Ping had already soared to the sky. In the future, he would definitely be outstanding. If they continued to fight, they would be at a disadvantage. If they did not admit defeat now, when would they admit defeat? As the saying goes, a wise man does not fight when the odds are against him. Although they were all proud and arrogant, they were not fools. Chapter 423. You. Seeing Xia Ping suddenly make a move, Mu Haoren and the others were shocked. They didn't expect this guy to be so cruel. He made a move and crippled Zhu Zijian. Moreover, they didn't expect the difference in strength between Zhu Zijian and Xia Ping to be so big. He couldn't even take a punch. His whole body flew out and fell to the ground with serious injuries. It was too terrifying. At this time, they truly felt the gap between them and Xia Ping. It was so big that it was unimaginable. You what you? I'll tell you honestly, this is robbery. Xia Ping glanced at the students around him and said indifferently, "Do you think that by apologizing, flattering, and saying a few words of apology, you can end this matter? Are you kidding? If an apology is useful, why do we need the law and the police? A good citizen like me, who has a pure style, was suddenly surrounded by you fiendish gangsters, and you all want to beat me to the point that I can't take care of myself. I don't know how much impact it will have on my heart. Maybe I won't be able to improve my martial arts cultivation in the future, and my future will be ruined. Now I'm asking you to compensate me with a few points as compensation for mental damage. Is this too much? But you all use all kinds of excuses and obviously want to renege on the debt. Do you think that I, Xia Ping, am easy to bully? I'm stepped on, I'm scolded, and I won't say a word. His body emitted a powerful aura, crushing Mu Haoran and the others. Easy to bully my ass. Mu Haoran and the others felt extremely aggrieved. Who was bullying who? They hadn't even made a move, but 4 of their companions were beaten to the point that they had no fighting strength. Now they were being forced to compensate 100,000 points. No matter how they looked at it, they were being bullied. But this bully Xia Ping actually said that they were easy to bully. Was there such a reason in this world? Su Ji looked at Xia Ping with even more contempt. This bastard was simply lying through his teeth. All of them were tied together, but they couldn't affect this bastard at all. But this guy had the nerve to say that their behavior had a huge impact on him, leaving him with a strong psychological shadow. Who was the one with a more serious psychological shadow now? She had never seen such a person who inverted black and white like this. He was obviously a bully, but he shamelessly pretended to be the victim. There was no limit to bullying. But a compensation of 100,000 points is too much, too much. A yellow-clothed student shouted unwillingly. Even if he was beaten to death, he would never compensate so many points. He would probably go bankrupt. Bang! As soon as he finished speaking, Xia Ping slapped him with his palm. It was as fast as lightning, and a terrifying force of true essence gushed out like a poisonous snake, instantly slapping the yellow-clothed student's face. Immediately, his whole body flew up and spun 5 or 6 times in the air. With a thud, he fell to the ground again. A few of his front teeth flew out, mixed with blood. His face quickly swelled up like a pig's head. He covered his face, screaming miserably again and again, rolling on the ground, unable to utter a single word. Exaggerated? Too much? Xia Ping clenched his fists. Who else dares to jump out? Jump out now and let me see. How can you be so calculative over a little money? With your tolerance and breadth of mind, will you be able to achieve great things in the future? It's already difficult to advance to the Grandmaster realm, so it's simply impossible to advance to the King realm. Anyway, even if you don't want to pay today, you still have to. He was extremely overbearing, and his tone was extremely tough. Fuck damn it, Xia Ping, don't be too arrogant. I admit that you're powerful, but it's impossible to force us to bow our heads. Now we'll run away. I'd like to see how many of us you can catch. Suddenly a group of students jumped out, gnashing their teeth. As the top students of Yanhuang University, which one of them was not a proud person? Being oppressed and forced like this, how could they be convinced? Although they admitted that they were no match for Xia Ping, they did not believe that if they split up and fled in all directions, this kid could still catch them all in one fell swoop. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, the group of students immediately moved, using Qinggong to flee in all directions. Each of them used the fastest speed in their lives. Kunpeng step. In an instant, a trace of cold light appeared in Xia Ping's eyes. His body surged with a terrifying true essence, and a pair of Kunpeng wings grew on his back. His whole body was covered with qi strength like a Kunpeng. It was at this moment that dozens of Xia Ping's phantoms appeared on the ground. Some punched out, some struck out with palms, some struck out with claws, and some struck out with legs. Their figures were like wolves, tigers, snakes, bears, leopards. These shadows all appeared beside Mu Haoran and the others, and these students did not even have time to move before Xia Ping approached them. Impossible! Mu Haoran and the others were extremely shocked, and they could not believe their eyes. In a breath's time, the ground was filled with Xia Ping's shadows. This kind of speed was too terrifying. Even the king's step that they knew did not have such a speed. It could be said that the dozens of shadows of Xia Ping on the ground were extremely fast, leaving afterimages on the retina of humans. Boom! Mu Haoran and the others did not know what had happened. Suddenly they felt a strong force bombarding them, and they immediately flew backward like garbage. Bam! 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 One by one, they were sent flying in all directions, smashing through trees and shattering boulders. Some even smashed into the ground. All of them coughed up mouthfuls of blood. Their lungs were severely injured, and more than a dozen of their bones were broken. Miserable shrieks could be heard, and cracking sounds could be heard. In fact, they could even sense a terrifying true essence invading their lungs and burning their 5 viscera. Even if they expended their own true essence, they would not be able to expel it. Damnation! What kind of true essence is this? There's no way to expel it. This fire is too terrifying. What's going on? My quintessential essence is being burned into steam by this flame. This is too exaggerated. Stay your hand, Xiaping. Stay your hand right now. Are you trying to cripple our energy arts? Mu Haoran and the others cried out in alarm. No matter what they did, they could not expel the true essence of fire. However, that was to be expected. After all, this was the quintessence of the sun. Although Xiaping had intentionally weakened the power of the attack, it was still not something that ordinary energy arts could expel. However, if things went on like this, their meridians and Dantian regions would all be destroyed. If that happened, their energy arts and cultivation bases, which they had cultivated for more than 10 years, would be completely crippled. They would be completely and utterly crippled. Chapter 424. This feeling. Xiaping's eyes flashed. He sensed that his true essence had invaded the bodies of many students. A trace of true essence contained his own spiritual power. He could sense every movement of the other party's qigong. It seemed that true essence was a living power. As long as he moved his mind, he could immediately detonate this true essence and blow these students into pieces. Oh, you want me to stop? Xiaping smiled at Mu Haoran and others. Weren't you guys still being stubborn just now? It's impossible for you to bow your heads. It didn't take long for you to bow your heads, surrender, and beg me for mercy. This. Mu Haoran and the others were extremely aggrieved. Xiaping's words made them want to immediately bury their heads in the depths of the ground. This was really too shameful. It was clearly a slap to their faces, and it was a slap to death. But now their lives and even their futures were still in the hands of Xiaping. As long as Xiaping had a little bad intention, they would be dead. Even if they could survive, their martial arts would be crippled and they would have no future in this life. Although they also had a powerful family standing behind them, these families had countless descendants, and they were not the only ones. If they were crippled, there were plenty of people who could replace them. Even if they could retaliate afterwards and make Xiaping unlucky, it would be useless. They would become cripples for the rest of their lives. No amount of money could exchange for that. They didn't dare to bet that Xiaping would not dare to make a move. After all, this kid was simply a madman. He could even sweep away countless martial arts clubs in Yanhuang University and offend all the students. What else couldn't he do? They didn't have the guts to bet their futures and lives that Xiaping would not dare to make a move. I'm sorry, we were wrong, really wrong. Please forgive us. We actually dared to have the idea of dealing with Lord Xia. We are simply beasts. It's just 100,000 points. We'll pay for it immediately. Mu Haoran and others all shouted loudly. They finally bowed their heads and begged Xiaping for mercy. They no longer had their previous arrogance and domineering arrogance. After all, they couldn't even escape. How could they fight against this monster? Although 100,000 points was a lot compared to their lives and future, it was still insignificant. Yes, then let's sign the contract now. Xiaping immediately took out his communication device and made a contract. It was legally binding, and he had Mu Haoran and the others sign it. Once the contract was signed, he was not afraid that Mu Haoran and the others would go back on their word. After all, if they still wanted to live on the side of humans, they would definitely not dare to violate the law. Mu Haoran and the others were extremely aggrieved. Their hearts were dripping with blood. Just like that, a total of 100,000 points had disappeared just like that. This was practically cutting off their flesh. Moreover, there were 20 to 30 of them here. If each of them provided 100,000 points, this kid would probably get 3 million points. This was a huge sum of money. Even a martial master realm expert would have to spend a lot of time to obtain 3 million points. However, this bastard could obtain it so easily. This was too unfair. However, it was impossible for them to go back on their word. A wisp of true essence was still within their bodies. As long as this boy willed it, their entire bodies would be burnt to ashes. How could they dare to have any other thoughts? Left with no choice, they could only sign the contract with Xiaping. They promised to give Xiaoping 100,000 points within 2 months. If they were late, they would be charged interest. They also wanted to take out 100,000 points now. However, in order to cultivate by treasures, secret manuals, etc., they did not have many points left. If they wanted to obtain 100,000 points, they would probably need another 2 months. They would have to risk their lives to complete the missions and borrow money from others. Only then would they be able to obtain 100,000 points. However, Xiaoping was also anxious. After all, he had obtained 3 million points for free. Even if he was late by 2 months, it would not be a problem. Rascal! Seeing this situation, Suji was speechless. This guy's way of earning money was simply unparalleled. He was like a bandit, specializing in plundering other people's wealth to strengthen himself. Even the descendants of the sovereign clans were not this overbearing. Done. Mu Haoran and the others finally signed the contract. With a thought, Xiaoping immediately removed the foreign true essence from their bodies. He did not leave a trace of power to control their bodies. Immediately, Mu Haoran and the others heaved a sigh of relief. If there was such a trace of power in their bodies at all times, they would not be able to eat or sleep in peace. It was like having a time bomb installed in their bodies. Fortunately, it was removed now. Otherwise, they would not be able to feel at ease. Whoosh! After completely taming Mu Haoran and the others, Xiaoping turned around and walked toward the lake. He wanted to pluck the 100-year moon heart lotus at the edge of the lake. This was a rare spiritual medicine. He would not waste it. Splash! Just as Xiaoping approached the lake, the calm surface of the lake immediately trembled. Huge crocodiles rushed out. Their bodies were covered in black armor. Their faces were ferocious. They were undoubtedly fiendish demons. Adamantine demonic crocodiles. Mu Haoran and the others immediately recognized the identity of these fiendish demons. These fiendish demons were called adamantine demonic crocodiles. They lived at the edge of the lake and their strength was extremely tyrannical. It was said that they grew sharp fangs. Their biting strength reached several hundred tons. With a light bite, they could swallow titanium alloy like chocolate effortlessly. Furthermore, their bodies were covered in black scales. They were as hard as adamantine. Even a laser gun would not be able to penetrate their defense. They were extremely terrifying. Let's kill them. Mu Haoran and the others could not help but shout in their hearts. They all knew how terrifying these adamantine demonic crocodiles were. One of them was enough to fight against a first heaven martial master. Now that more than 10 of them suddenly appeared, and it was a sudden attack, ordinary martial artists would be instantly killed without any ability to resist. Have they appeared? Die for me. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. With his mental power, these adamantine demonic crocodiles thought that they had concealed themselves well. However, in reality they had nowhere to hide. As the saying goes, spiritual medicine has a spirit. There must be a monster guarding it. He did not believe that there were no monsters in this place. Indeed, with his mental power, these adamantine demonic crocodiles were quietly lying in the depths of the lake, waiting for them to die. This was a trap set by the adamantine demonic crocodiles using the moon heart lotus. They had used this trap to kill countless humans. It was almost always successful. Unfortunately, they had kicked an iron plate this time. Rumble! Xiaoping took a step forward and activated the pure yang immortal art. His body immediately emitted a frightening dark red flame. His whole body was like a man on fire. The surrounding dozens of meters turned into a sea of fire. Chapter 425. Immediately, the dozen adamantine demonic crocodiles that wanted to kill Xiaoping were immediately infected by the dark red flame, which instantly invaded their bodies and burned their devil chi. They immediately let out mournful screams, as if the flame had come into contact with natural gas. Their entire bodies were covered by the terrifying flame, and their bodies constantly rolled, trying to extinguish the flame. But it was useless. This was the flame that Xiaoping cultivated by absorbing the essence of the sun, and refined by cultivating the pure yang immortal incantation. Its power was unimaginably terrifying, with the power of extreme yang, comparable to the water of life. It could be said that this flame was the nemesis of those demons. Bang bang bang. In just a few breaths' time, These adamantine demonic crocodiles were immediately burned into black charcoal. Because of the rolling of the adamantine demonic crocodiles, a deep pit was smashed on the ground, causing the earth to tremble. Because of the spread of the flame, the soil turned into molten lava, and the surrounding temperature rose sharply. Mu Haoran and the others could not help but retreat a dozen steps, barely able to resist the power of the flame. How is this possible? Seeing that the dozen adamantine demonic crocodiles were burned into charcoal in a few breaths' time, unable to even struggle, Mu Haoran and the others' eyes almost popped out. Their hearts were almost in despair. Even these demons couldn't kill Xiaoping, and instead were killed by this bastard. Then who else could be this kid's opponent? Wouldn't they be oppressed to death by this bastard for the rest of their lives? Wouldn't they have to work for him for the rest of their lives? Oh my god, what kind of qigong is this? Why is the power of the flame so terrifying? Suji could not help but widen her beautiful eyes, feeling that it was unimaginable. She also knew some descendants of kings who had the power of flame in their bodies, and they also cultivated a flame cultivation method, but it was not as exaggerated as Xiaoping, who burned the demons to death in a few breaths' time, without them even being able to struggle. The power was not as simple as several times, the difference was at least dozens of times, almost impossible to make up for. Xiaoping did not pay attention to other people's surprise. Immediately took out the demon cores of the dozen adamantine demonic crocodiles and put them into his spatial ring. After all, these demon cores were good stuff. If refined, the effect would not be inferior to any elixir. At the same time, he also took out the 100-year moon heart lotus. At this time, the adamantine demonic crocodiles that dared to ambush in the lake were completely killed. No demons dared to stand out and provoke them. Rumble. All of a sudden, the entire cloud mist mountain range started to shake, as if there was an earthquake with a magnitude of more than 10. Dense demonic energy spread out, and a black fog appeared in the sky. What's going on? Why is there an earthquake? Some students were shocked, not knowing what was going on. Suji's complexion was grave as she said in a deep voice, "It should be because the cloud mist mountain range is about to close. Those demons that are hiding in the mountains are about to come out and form a demon tide. If we don't leave in time, we will all be torn to shreds by the countless fiendish demons." Mu Haoran found it hard to believe. Didn't they say that the cloud mist mountain range would only close after a month? There are still a few days before the month ends. A month, that's just an approximate time. In fact, the time may be earlier or later. Suji said in a deep voice, "Once the demon tide rises, we must evacuate, otherwise we will die." Just as he said that, the mountains in the distance began to tremble and the ground split open. It seemed as though millions of demons were emerging from the cracks. They charged out in all directions like a tidal wave. Even the lake in front of them was split in half. A large amount of the lake water receded, and the ground in the middle split open. Black fog gushed out and demons crawled out from the bottom of the lake, wanting to devour the world. Damn it, the demon tide really appeared. This is too scary. All of them are demons and there are thousands of them. We can't stay here any longer. We must run away quickly. Everyone was shocked and felt a strong sense of crisis. If they continued to stay here, they would definitely be swarmed by countless demons and be bitten until not even their bones were left. Whoosh! Xiaoping felt it the most. His mental power sensed that there seemed to be peerless demons coming out from the depths of the black fog. They were at the peak of the martial master realm and even had the strength of the grandmaster realm. Once these demons appeared, they would be no match for them even if they worked together. They would be killed in an instant. Without saying anything, he immediately used the Kuanpeng steps and ran far away. His whole body was like a big bird, controlling the airflow and gliding crazily. In a few breaths, he had escaped hundreds of meters away. This bastard. Mu Haoran and the others were green with envy. This guy was so arrogant just now. Now that he saw a group of demons in danger, he ran away faster than anyone else. He was simply shameless. What a rogue. Suji was also a little surprised and then a look of contempt appeared on her face. Xiaoping ran away faster than anyone else. It was as if he had wings and used all his strength to escape. Suddenly she also remembered something. When danger came, it was not a competition of speed. As long as you were faster than the last person, you would be able to survive. Xiaoping definitely had such an idea. He wanted to use them as cannon fodder to shut the mouths of those demons. Run! Thinking of this, Mu Haoran and the others did not have time to curse at Xiaoping. One by one, they took a healing elixir and endured the pain in their bodies. They all ran toward the entrance of the Cloud Mist Mountains. They also used the fastest speed in their lives. Even their blood began to burn. They did not dare to look back and directly ran at a speed that was as fast as death. Rumble! At this time, groups of demons walked out from the black fog. Each of them was holding a steel fork. Like a herd of beasts, they formed groups and crazily rushed in all directions. Anything that stood in front of them would be torn to pieces in an instant. Die for me! Xiaoping crazily sprinted. His whole body surged with violent flames. He was like a man on fire. Along the way, he brought along terrifying flames. Any demons that dared to approach him were instantly torn to pieces and burned to ashes. This kind of momentum was simply like a rampaging tank, crushing everything in its path. After running for a full hour and killing countless demons along the way, Xiaoping and the others finally arrived at the entrance of the Cloud Mist Mountains. A huge door of light appeared in front of them. A large number of students frantically ran toward the door of light. Go! Xiaoping vigorously jumped, cracking the ground. In an instant, he jumped toward the door of light and arrived at the tunnel. He madly ran. In a few breaths' time, he finally left the Cloud Mist Mountains. He breathed in the fresh air outside and absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It was as if he had obtained a new life. We're out. Chapter 426. When the Cloud Mist Mountains were completely closed, apart from the students who had died inside, most of them had come out. However, almost all of them were injured and had weak auras. What? A teacher from Ares College suddenly shouted. You said that Niezhen died in the Cloud Mist Mountains? And he was killed by someone called Wu Wudi. Who? Who is that Wu Wudi? How could he be so daring? He roared in anger. Niezhen was an elite of Ares College and was known as the future king. Such a person was the focus of the school. Furthermore, he was from the Nie family and was the grandson of the king, Nie Wudao. The death of such a person would cause a huge commotion and infuriate many people. It can't be. Even Niezhen died inside and he was killed by someone? The killer is called Wu Wudi. Where did this kid come from? I've never heard of this student's name. I don't know where he came from. He's really ruthless. He even dared to kill Niezhen. Is he crazy? Killing people in the Cloud Mist Mountains is not illegal. After all, everyone who entered signed a life and death agreement. It's not illegal, but will the Nie family care about this? If one of their people dies, I'm afraid they will all go crazy. No matter who that Wu Wudi is, he will definitely be hunted down by the Nie family. Many teachers were discussing. They were completely stunned by the news of Niezhen's death. They would never have thought that someone as strong as Niezhen would be killed. Moreover, the other party was an unknown nobody, which was even more unimaginable. Wu Wudi, come out. Come out immediately. An Ares College teacher shouted angrily. How dare you kill Niezhen? Are you crazy? Do you know that this is a serious crime? The entire Cloud Realm cannot tolerate it. He looked around angrily, trying to find Wu Wudi. However, there were too many students here. They were not just from Yanhuang University, Ares College, Tianshan University, and Black-White College. There were also students from other top universities. There were at least hundreds of thousands of students here. Finding a murderer among so many students was as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. The other students looked at each other, their eyes flickering. They looked around at their companions, trying to find out who the real Wu Wudi was. But no matter how hard they looked, they could not find Wu Wudi. Investigate thoroughly. Investigate all the students immediately. Whoever dared to kill Niezhen's men, no matter who it is, must be severely punished. Let's begin. Isolate them and investigate them one by one. Let's see who has the guts to actually dare to kill Niezhen. They must be tired of living. If we don't find out who the murderer is, none of you will be able to leave. One by one, the Ares College teachers jumped out. Their faces were as dark as ink, and their bodies emitted a cold aura. Their eyes were like eagles, staring at the surrounding students. They all looked as if they would not rest until they thoroughly investigated all the students. Let's go. A Yanhuang University teacher could not be bothered with this group of Aries College teachers. He directly ordered the Yanhuang University students to leave. He was not interested in helping Aries College find the culprit, nor was he obligated to. Moreover, anything that happened in the Cloud Mist Mountains was his responsibility. He had already signed a life and death contract. If a student died, they would have to mobilize a large number of people to investigate every student. How troublesome would that be? Now that Niezhin was dead, it was only because he was from the Nie family and had great power. That was why he was so angry. If an ordinary student had died, personally killed by Niezhin, no one would care. The family of the student who was killed could only grit their teeth and swallow their anger. There was nothing they could do. They might even be accused of being unreasonable by the Nie family. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Hearing this, the Yanhuang University students also moved, walking towards their school's super battleship. Xiaping was also among the many students, his expression calm. The Aries College teachers were furious. They did not expect that the Yanhuang University students would not give them face. They simply ignored their existence and left. But this was also normal. Although the Nie family was powerful, there were many other royal families in the Cloud Realm that were comparable to the Nie family. They were not the only ones. Moreover, the Nie family had a close relationship with Aries College. There was a conflict of interest, but it did not mean that they had a good relationship with Yanhuang University. They had no obligation to help such unrelated people. Not to mention, it was impossible for him to take the initiative to help the other party find the murderer. Most importantly, if the culprit was a student from their own school, what would they do? Would they have to hand over the students from their own school? Seeing this situation, the other universities also began to move. They all left one after another, ignoring Aries College's anger. They all left quickly, as if they did not exist. These people from Aries College are all crazy. They even want to investigate every student. Who do they think they are? Even the federal police would not dare to do so. They are probably used to being arrogant and think that everyone has to listen to them. Yanhuang University, Black and White College, Tianshan University. Which school would lose to them? They even want to order people around and investigate every student. I really don't know what is going on in their heads. So what if Niezhin is dead? It is a great loss to Aries College, but it is nothing to the entire human world. Although geniuses like him are rare, they are not rare either. Future king? That sounds nice. He has not reached that level yet. He's just a baby. For a junior, he wants to shake the rules of the Cloud Mountains. Even the Wolf King Niawudao is not qualified. Descendant of a king? His death means that he is nothing. Even if he is not dead now, he will be killed by the demons sooner or later. Let's go. I can't be bothered with this bunch of lunatics from Aries College. Let them wake up. This world is not something they can control. They are still far from being able to point fingers at our schools. Many university teachers were laughing coldly, mocking the people from Aries College as if they were looking at lunatics. They completely ignored the demands of this group of people. These bastards. The faces of the teachers from Aries College turned green and white. They were extremely ugly. They were used to being domineering in their own school. They thought that if they shouted, many people would listen to them. However, if any of the schools present lost to them, others might consider it if they said it nicely. But now their attitude was so unyielding, as if they were ordering their own subordinates. Who could stand it? Chapter 427. A few hours later, the super battleship finally arrived at Yanhuang University. Xiaping also returned to his villa safely. He immediately entered the villa's quiet room and began to cultivate in seclusion. He planned to integrate the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline. He didn't have this condition in the Cloud and Mist Mountains before, but it was very safe back at Yanhuang University, and he wouldn't be disturbed by anyone. System: immediately integrate the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline. Xiaping sat cross-legged on the ground and said immediately. He was looking forward to how strong he would become after integrating the Golden Crow of Hell. Host: There is a 70% chance of death after integrating the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline, the system said. What? The corner of Xiaoping's mouth twitched. 70% chance of death? System, are you crazy? That's not what you said before. That's because the host didn't ask in detail, so I didn't say much. The system said. After all, this is the bloodline of a divine beast. To completely integrate into the host's body, it must experience great pain and mental torture. Most humans can't bear it. In just a few breaths, even the soul will collapse. Xiaoping was speechless. Do I have to risk a 70% chance of death to accept this bloodline integration? No. The system said. That means that under normal circumstances, there is a 70% chance of death. But if the host spends 5 million hatred points, the risk can be minimized. With the help of the system's energy, all adverse reactions to the host's body can be eliminated. Xiaoping finally understood that the system was clearly greedy for money, but he had just gotten millions of hatred points not long ago, and now he had to spend it all at once, instantly becoming a pauper again. This feeling was really too depressing, but it was impossible for him to give up. After all, this Golden Crow of Hell bloodline couldn't be bought with a mere 5 million hatred points. If he really wanted to buy it, he didn't know how many billions it would cost. Moreover, integrating the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline would greatly increase his aptitude and potential, and it was many times more advanced than treasures like the Water of Life. With a very high starting point, then it would be a matter of course for him to become a king-level powerhouse. He didn't know how many detours he would take, and it could be said to be endless benefits. Okay, spend 5 million hatred points, Xiaoping said in a deep voice. The system said. Okay, host, please wait a moment. The Golden Crow of Hell bloodline is about to integrate with the host. Boom, in the blink of an eye, a drop of golden blood the size of a watermelon appeared in the void. This ball of blood emitted a dazzling golden light, just like a sun. Xiaoping could sense that this blob of blood was exuding an aura of nobility, eternity, chaos, grandmist, and so on. It was a supreme existence that reigned above all living beings. He even used his spiritual power to penetrate it, and found that there were countless cells in the blood. He estimated that there were hundreds of millions of them, and it was impossible to count them clearly. Every single cell inside seemed to be a huge universe, with countless stars revolving within them. At the core was a sun, emitting a light that had existed since ancient times, shining through the ages. Vaguely, he seemed to see a Golden Crow of Hell lying in the center of the universe. When it spread its wings, it could cover an entire star field. Its eyes were like ancient black holes. The feathers on its body were black. It was a darkness that could not be described with words. Even the evilest filth in the world could not compare to it. Even the most terrifying curse could not compare to it. Even the darkness from the endless abyss could not compare. This was the ultimate power of darkness. Every single feather was made up of energy. Any one of them would burn with black flames when it fell into the void. When it fell, a planet would instantly turn into ashes, and even a black hole would be corroded. A single caw could cause thousands of planets to explode. Just by being in the depths of the universe, it could become an existence that shone through the ages. The black light on its body pierced through every corner of the universe, seeping into the 9 layers of hell. Under such majestic power, Xiaoping could feel how insignificant he was. This was the highest life form in the universe. Even the legendary gods and demons could not compare to it. It's too powerful. Xiaoping's body was trembling. Compared to such a majestic existence, the king-level experts and the heaven-devouring demon venerable were just ants. No wonder it could shine through the 9 layers of hell and become the son of hell. It could be said to be in existence like the Lord of gods and demons. With such great power, who could resist it? Walala! At this moment, the ball of blood immediately fused into Xiaoping's body. The billions of cells of the Golden Crow of Hell in the blood fused into every single cell of Xiaoping's, fusing with one another. No, it was not fusing but devouring. The cells of the Golden Crow of Hell were extremely noble. How could they fuse with human cells? They were devouring every single cell in Xiaoping's body, as though they wanted to replace him. Even the soul of a Golden Crow of Hell appeared in the ball of blood. It entered the depths of Xiaoping's mind and cawed, wanting to devour Xiaoping's soul and be reborn. Compared to the highest life form in the universe, the bloodline of humans was simply too weak. Oh no! Xia Ping's eyes flashed coldly. He felt that he was in danger, but for some reason, he did not feel afraid at all. Instead, he felt extremely safe. Rumble. At this moment, a mysterious power surged out from the depths of Xia Ping's soul. Mysterious chains broke out from the void like chains of order. Seeing the appearance of these chains, the golden crow of hell was shocked. Fear could be seen in the depths of its eyes. It tried to escape, but it was too late. There was no way it could escape. Arr! Immediately, the soul of the golden crow of hell screamed. The void shook and its body was pierced by the chains. Countless ancient and mysterious inscriptions appeared, forming a terrifying sealing power. Even the cells of the golden crow of hell were pierced by the mysterious chains. It was as though a seal had been imposed on them, trapping them in the depths of the core of every cell in Xia Ping's body. The golden crow of hell screamed and tried to struggle, but it was useless. It was as though the Monkey King had been suppressed by the palm of the Buddha. Faced with this power, it could not resist at all and was suppressed obediently. With the help of this power, Xia Ping immediately felt that the power that wanted to destroy his soul had disappeared. Even the bloodline of the golden crow of hell was rapidly merging into the depths of the core of his cells. At the same time, he activated the pure yang immortal art. A warm energy instantly spread to his limbs. He could feel every corner of his body clearly, no matter how big or small. Even his soul seemed to be resonating with the soul of the golden crow of hell. Strange waves appeared in the void. Traces of golden energy were emitted, strengthening his soul. Chapter 428. Cloud Realm Silver Wolf City. This was a huge human city, covering an area no less than the capital of Yanhuang Planet's Yangzhou district. It had a population of more than 100 million, and its business was extremely prosperous. It was an out-and-out human city. There were many modern high-rise buildings and spaceships in the sky. Countless warriors went in and out of the city, transporting all kinds of resources. The money that flowed through the city every day was simply an astronomical figure. It could be said that this Silver Wolf City was simply overflowing with wealth. However, it was not the federal government that controlled this city, but the Nie family, a king family. They were the owners of this Silver Wolf City and controlled everything here. All the people who lived in this city worked for the Nie family. From this, one could imagine how rich the Nie family was. It was almost as rich as a country. However, this was the horror of a king family and the power of a king realm expert. Once a king realm expert became a king, he could divide the land and establish a human city, or even an independent kingdom on any piece of land in the cloud realm. However, not every king realm expert had the ability to build a city. King realm experts who could build a city were basically the strongest among all the king realm experts. This way they could resist the various natural disasters in the cloud realm, resist the endless demon beasts, and forcibly establish a city in the wilderness to build a human paradise. In the center of Silver Wolf City there was a huge manor with waterfalls, lakes, courtyards, gardens, and all kinds of art. It was incomparably luxurious. This was the residence of the Nie family in Silver Wolf City. At this time, dozens of Nie family elders gathered in a hall of this manor. They stood in the hall, exuding a terrible murderous aura. They were at least in the master realm. At the front of the hall, there was a chair carved from 1,000-year-old yellow pear wood. Both sides of the chair were carved with wolf heads, and the top of the chair was covered with the skin of a king-level demonic beast. A middle-aged man wearing blue training clothes was sitting on the chair. He had long hair, a stone-like face, and a third eye on his forehead. Even though he did not say anything and even had his eyes closed, everyone around him could feel the terrifying murderous aura exuding from this middle-aged man. However, the surrounding people could feel the terrifying killing intent emanating from the middle-aged man's body. It was as if the middle-aged man's body was the center, and everything within a radius of 100 miles had become an absolute domain. Their lives were in the hands of this man. As long as he willed it, they would immediately fall to the ground and die. This was a gap that could not be made up for. This middle-aged man was the famous king of the Cloud Realm, also known as the Wolf King Nie Wudao. After a long time he finally opened his eyes, revealing a terrifying cold light. I heard that Zhener died in the Cloud Mountain range. What exactly happened? Speak. This shout contained an extremely terrifying rage. If this will was intentionally targeted at an enemy, even a Zhongshe realm expert would be jolted to death immediately, bleeding from the 7 apertures of his head. One had to know that Niezhen was one of the descendants he cared about the most. He also believed that Niezhen was the future successor of the Nie family. Niezhen's future was boundless, and he had spent countless resources on Niezhen. After all, the Nie family had many descendants, but not many of them were talented. Descendants who could completely activate their bloodline and open their third eye were as rare as pandas. Even if one appeared, they would be the center of attention. But now he was dead and all the early investments had gone down the drain. For the rich and overbearing Nie family, this was simply an unbearable burden. The losses were far too great. Zhener was killed. It was said that he was killed by a student called Wu Wudi. Not even his bones were left. An elder stood up, gnashing his teeth in anger. Not even his bones were left? What a good not even his bones. Niezhen shouted angrily, causing the ceiling of the hall to crack. He knew that Niezhen was a descendant of the Nie family, a descendant of Nie Wudao, and yet he dared to kill him? He must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. Bring him out. Bring Wu Wudi out immediately. Execute him by 1,000 cuts and exterminate his entire family. He was so angry that even the waters of 3 rivers could not wash away his anger. But family head. An elder stood up with an ugly expression. After receiving this news, we immediately mobilized the family's power and searched through the student registers of all the universities in the Cloud Realm. We investigated them one by one, but we did not find anyone named Wu Wudi. We suspect that this name is fake and even his appearance is fake. We won't be able to find out his true identity for the time being. He clenched his fists, feeling very indignant. A descendant of the Nie family had been killed in public, but the identity of the murderer could not be found. If the other sovereign families found out about this, the Nie family would become a laughingstock. Family head, I think this Wu Wudi was premeditated. I reckon he's an enemy of the Nie family. His goal is to eradicate the talented descendants of the Nie family and weaken the Nie family's strength. An elder guessed the identity of the murderer and believed that it was an enemy of the Nie family. After all, the Nie family had offended many people along the way. Moreover, the Wolf King Nie Wudao was tyrannical and had many king-level enemies. These enemies could have done something like this. That's not necessarily true. It could also be a fight over a treasure. Without evidence, no one can prove that it was done by an enemy. Someone refute it. Shut up. Nie Wudao shouted angrily. I don't care who the murderer is. He killed my grandson, so he must pay with his life. Does he think we can't find him just because he changed his appearance and name? That's bullshit. What about his martial arts? What martial arts techniques he's proficient in? What about the cultivation method he cultivates? These things can't be hidden at all. With these clues, how can we not find him? Moreover, the number of people who can kill Zhener can be counted on one hand among the students. How can we not find such a person? He glared at the many Nie family elders. According to the eyewitness, the murderer who killed Zhener is proficient in sword techniques. His sword techniques are unparalleled and almost divine. He can compete with Black and White Academy's Cho Wanwan, an elder said in a low voice. However, the sword technique used by the murderer is unheard of. It can't be found in the entire Cloud world. So far, no one knows who knows this sword technique. As for fist techniques, footwork, and inner force cultivation methods, the murderer is too strong. Apart from Zhener, everyone else was killed with a single punch. The surrounding students' knowledge of the martial Dao is shallow. They have no idea what he knows. If there was a king-level expert observing Xiaoping's battle, they might be able to see some clues. However, the students present were merely rookies who had just entered the martial master realm. How could they see the secret? Chapter 429. But what kind of person could kill Zhen? One of the elders still couldn't believe it. Even if Cho Wan of the Black and White Academy and Chong Bin of the Divine God University were able to defeat Zhan with the help of the terrain, it's impossible for them to kill him. He clenched his fists tightly. Defeating and killing were two different concepts. If Nie Zhan wanted to escape, even if a genius like Cho Qianwan had the upper hand, he wouldn't be able to kill him. That's right. Zhener has the three-eyed wolf bloodline. Once he opens his third eye, his strength will soar and he'll be invincible among his peers. Furthermore, he has the treasure bestowed by the family head, the golden light mirror. Once he uses this treasure, he'll be able to match a martial master at the third heaven. Who can be his match? He won't be afraid of being surrounded, unless he was surrounded by demons. The problem is that according to the witnesses, Zhan was killed in a one-on-one fight. He wasn't surrounded by demons. Many elders of the Nie family discussed. They couldn't believe that Nie Zhan had died. According to Nie Zhan's strength, this trial in the Cloud Mist Mountain range was just an ordinary trial. There was no danger to his life. Furthermore, he also had an extremely precious treasure on him. His strength was above that of many students. It was simply impossible for anyone to kill Nie Zhan. But Nie Zhan had died and even lost his treasure. It was unimaginable how furious they were now. There are two possibilities. An elder's eyes flashed with a cold light. The first possibility is that the killer is a descendant of a king clan. Perhaps he has a grudge against our Nie clan. In order to eliminate our Nie clan's heavens chosen, he brought a powerful treasure with him. As a result, Zhan was caught off guard and was killed. In a battle between experts, life and death are often decided by carelessness. The second possibility is that the murderer is a commoner. He looks very ordinary and weak on the surface. Zhan underestimated him and didn't have his guard up. That's why he didn't choose to escape. However, commoners are not simple either. They might have had a fortuitous encounter, entered an ancient ruin, obtained a shocking martial legacy, or obtained a terrifying treasure, allowing them to soar to the sky. This kind of person hides himself very deeply. He won't easily reveal his trump cards. However, once he is exposed, it will be a world-shaking killing intent. Who knows how many descendants of kings have died in the hands of these commoners? This point he paused. Of course, there's a third possibility. Perhaps Wu Wudi was originally a demon in disguise. He purposely disguised himself as a human to kill Zhan and instigate a war between humans. However, this possibility is very small. Zhan has a third eye, so he should be able to see through the other party's identity. Once he realizes that something is wrong, he will immediately escape. He voiced his conjecture. In other words, we have to focus on two aspects. A white-haired elder stretched out two fingers. One is the descendant of a monarch with astonishing talent, while the other is a commoner genius who suddenly rose to prominence and obtained a fortuitous encounter. Both of them could be Zhan murderer. His eyes revealed a deep murderous intent. Everyone's eyes were filled with sorrow. Their Nie clan's pride had died, becoming a stepping stone for their enemies. This was absolutely intolerable. At this moment, their hearts were filled with terrifying fury. However, we can be sure that the person who killed Zhan must be a student who advanced to the martial mentor realm. A black-clothed elder clenched his fist and said, "We have compiled a list of the students who advanced to the martial master realm in the Cloud Mountain range. There are a total of 23,000 of them. Excluding those with alibis, there are still 8,763 of them. There were many famous students on this list, but there were also many unknown students. Xia Ping was also on this list, but he was very inconspicuous. After all, according to various information, Xia Ping was a new student who had just entered the university and was proficient in fist techniques. He was completely different from the murderer, Wu Wudi, who was proficient in sword techniques. The people of the Nie clan didn't really believe that a freshman who had just entered university could defeat and even kill the Nie clan's favored son of heaven, Nie Zhan. Spread the news of Zhan death. Let every martial artist in the Cloud Realm know." Invincible Nie clenched his fists and exuded a terrifying murderous intent. Invincible Nie will offer 500 billion federal coins, a treasure, and a century-old turtle longevity pill as a reward for Wu Wudi's life. As long as anyone can provide any useful clues, as long as anyone can kill Wu Wuti, these rewards will be his. I don't believe that he can escape with such a huge reward. Even if he's from a sovereign clan, there's no guarantee that there aren't people who hate him or are greedy. As long as there's a clue, as long as there's a trace, he's dead for sure. There's nowhere for him to hide. Do you think that Invincible Nya, won't be able to find him just because he changed his name and appearance? What a joke. He killed someone from my Nya clan. I'll make him unable to eat or sleep in peace for the rest of his life. He gritted his teeth. 500 billion federal coins, a treasure, and a century-old turtle longevity pill. When the three rewards were mentioned, all the elders of the Nya clan sucked in a breath of cold air. They could see the shock in each other's eyes, as well as a trace of desire and madness. Even for a king-level expert, 500 billion federal coins was a huge fortune. Who knew how many years and risks it would take to earn it back? Moreover, although king-level experts could earn a lot, they also had to spend a lot of money. They had to buy elixirs, treasures, weapons, and so on. Which one of them didn't cost an astronomical amount of money? Some king-level experts couldn't even make ends meet, and needed to borrow from the bank. A fortune like 500 billion federal coins was enough to tempt some king-level experts. However, 500 billion federal coins was nothing. Only a few king-level experts who were short on money would be tempted. Now, however, there was a treasure. This was an ancient weapon with boundless power. Even a king-level expert would have to pay a huge price to obtain a treasure as a weapon. This wasn't a treasure that could be obtained with money. What made people even crazier was the century-old turtle longevity pill. This was a priceless elixir. Taking one would immediately increase one's lifespan by 100 years. The benefits were endless. For some king-level experts who were about to reach the end of their lifespans, this was no less than a life-saving elixir. In order to obtain such an elixir, those king-level experts would probably risk their lives. Just the temptation for king-level experts was already so terrifying. What about the martial master realm or even master realm experts? How many people would go crazy? They couldn't imagine how big of a wave this news would cause in the sky realm. It would probably be as shocking as a nuclear bomb exploding somewhere 1,000 years ago. Chapter 430. With the Nya family deliberately spreading the news of the reward quickly spread throughout the underground world. Although all the students who entered the Cloud Mist Mountains had signed a life and death contract, which prevented the federal government from pursuing Wu Wuti, it did not mean that the Nya family could not issue a warrant for his arrest. There was light and darkness in this world. Even under the pressure of the federal government, martial artists did not dare to make a move openly. Once there was a video or other evidence that proved that the other party had killed someone, the federal government could pursue him. However, in reality, there was no evidence for most killings, so the federal government could not do anything about it. After all, there were too many grievances between martial artists. Even if the federal government wanted to suppress it, it could not. Hence, it would sometimes turn a blind eye to it. Therefore, many assassin organizations, underworld organizations, and other forces still existed in every corner of the federal government. They were still tenaciously surviving. Crazy, the Nya family has really gone crazy. 500 billion federal coins, a treasured weapon, and a century-old turtle longevity pill. Just to kill a Martial Master Realm Jr. Isn't this crazy? The reward is too exaggerated. It's unbelievable. I don't think the Nya family would dare to say such things to trick us. Otherwise, even the Nya family would be hurt after offending so many of us. They are not that stupid. Who wouldn't be tempted by such a reward? Even a king-level expert would come personally. That Wu Wuti is really pitiful. He's dead this time. I reckon that in less than 3 days, he will be found by all the major forces and die a horrible death. Looks like the Wolf King Nya Wudao is really angry. Otherwise, why would he be willing to take out such a treasure? No matter what, if I can kill Wu Wuti this time, I'll be rich. It's equivalent to a fortuitous encounter. Many martial artists discussed the news. They were extremely shocked by the Nya family's reward. No matter which one it was enough to make countless martial artists go crazy. It was not an exaggeration to say that once one obtained such a reward, they would be able to soar to the sky. As the news spread, students from all over the world quickly learned of this matter. TSK, that's amazing. The Nye family is really generous. It's really generous. The entire internet is boiling over. Once the character is completed, he will immediately obtain many treasures. This is simply unheard of. I wonder who will be able to kill Wu Wuti and obtain the treasures provided by the Nye family. If I get it, then I'll be rich. Many students from various universities in the Cloud Realm began to talk about it. They all stared at the rewards with great desire, wishing they could immediately take them for themselves. For ordinary students, a mere 100 million federal coins was already an astronomical number, but now there was a total of 500 billion. This was simply an unimaginable number. Even though they were born into powerful clans and some were even descendants of kings, it was impossible for them to possess such astonishing wealth. After all, in a clan there were many businesses and a large population. On average, the benefits that each descendant received could be counted with one's fingers. Therefore, if they could obtain the reward from the Nye family, they would definitely be rich. They would no longer have to worry about cultivation resources in the future. At this time, at the headquarters of an assassin organization, TSK, 500 billion Federation coins, a prized artifact, and a 100-year longevity pill. Such a reward is truly astonishing. Only a colossus like the Nye family would be able to fork out so much money. After all, they occupy a huge city and are the lord of a city. They control countless resources, so it's not strange for them to produce so much money. Let's accept this mission. If we can kill that Wu Wuti, our assassin organization will be able to expand rapidly. We won't even know how many times we've expanded. This mission isn't about who is stronger, but who has the best information. Whoever finds Wu Wuti first will be the winner. Many assassins discussed among themselves. Their eyes were filled with incomparable desire. Every reward on the list was enough for them to fight to the death. If they obtained these rewards, they could immediately quit and no longer be assassins. This was an extremely dangerous reward that could change their lives. Each assassin was filled with a murderous aura, and a cold glint flashed in their eyes. Now no one could stop their determination to kill Wu Wuti. That brat would definitely die. In the depths of a cave in Savage Forest, a gray-robed elder sat cross-legged on the ground. His body was covered in dust, and with his body as the center, it seemed to form a terrifying domain. The entire cave was buzzing and shaking. There seemed to be distorted energy fluctuations in the air. This was a king-level expert. However, this gray-robed elder seemed to be old and clumsy, like a piece of wood that was about to wither. At this moment, the gray-robed elder turned on his communicator and browsed through all kinds of information. Soon he found a wanted poster for Wu Wuti. What? A 100-year turtle longevity pill? That Wolf King Nye Wudao is actually willing to take out such a precious pill? The gray-robed elder immediately became excited, and his face turned red. If I can obtain this 100-year turtle longevity pill, I will immediately gain 100 years of life. When that time comes, it will be more than enough to break through my current bottleneck. Kill him. I must kill Wu Wuti and obtain the 100-year turtle longevity pill. His eyes revealed a deep murderous intent. Right now, his lifespan was coming to an end. If he could not break through, he would soon die of old age and turn into a pile of white bones, completely rotting. However, if he obtained the 100-year turtle longevity pill and consumed it, it would immediately increase his lifespan by 100 years. With enough time, breaking through the bottleneck would not be a difficult task. With a bang, he broke out of the cave and directly left. At this time, every corner of the cloud world was shaken by the news spread by the Nye family. A large number of experts and martial arts organizations went completely crazy. They could not sit still at all. Some were students, some were assassins, and some were king-level experts who were about to die. There were also some small martial arts organizations. They all went crazy when they heard the news. Although these martial arts organizations were far inferior to the Nye family individually, if all of them were added up, they would be many times more powerful than the Nye family. Moreover, to kill Wu Wuti, one did not rely on martial arts but on intelligence. Whoever found Wu Wuti's whereabouts first would be rewarded by the Nye family. Therefore, Even some small martial arts organizations and scattered soldiers believed that they had a chance to complete the task and obtain the reward provided by the Nya family. Oh. Chapter 431. Boom! Xiaoping slowly opened his eyes. The energy on the surface of his body vibrated, and the eggshell around him immediately shattered. Dense cracks appeared on the eggshell, and it fell to the ground, creating a deep pit. Did the fusion succeed? Xiaoping felt that the aura and strength of his body had changed dramatically from before. His strength was at least 5 or 6 times stronger, and the muscle density of his body was more than 10 times stronger. He estimated that even if an ordinary sword hit his body, it would not be able to hurt him much. He already had a trace of the invincible Vajra body. Even the spiritual ether in his body was tainted with a trace of black aura. The spiritual ether flowed around his meridians, like lava flowing around his body, containing a terrifying destructive power. At the same time, he also discovered that while he was asleep, his body had already opened up 12 meridians. The spiritual ether was endless, and the 12 meridians formed a small spiritual ether cycle. He had reached the peak of the first heaven of martial master realm. What's going on? Although I feel much stronger than before, it is a little different from what I imagined. It doesn't seem to be unbelievably strong. Xiaoping's eyes flashed. As if sensing Xiaoping's thoughts, the system replied, "This is normal imagination. The energy contained in the golden crow of hell's bloodline is too great. If the host were to absorb it all at once, he would definitely be blown into ashes. Therefore, the system sealed the golden crow of hell's bloodline in the host's body. When the host's martial cultivation improves, part of the seal will be released, allowing the golden crow of hell cells to leak out. Then, the host can use the spiritual ether to completely refine the golden crow of hell's cells and integrate them into his body. In the future, when the host's martial cultivation reaches an extremely high level, he will be able to completely refine the golden crow of hell's bloodline, integrate it into his body, and control it completely." It explained why it had become like this. I see. Xiaoping indicated that he understood. Refining the golden crow of hell's bloodline was a long-term project, and the best way was to do it step by step. If he were to absorb and refine it all at once, the human body would not be able to withstand it. However, as his martial cultivation grew stronger, his body would become stronger. Then, he would be able to easily refine the golden crow of hell's bloodline. This method could be said to be safe and efficient. This feeling. Xiaoping closed his eyes and immersed his mind into it. He circulated the pure yang immortal art, wanting to familiarize himself with his new body. Suddenly, he felt as if there was a golden crow of hell residing in his body. Every cell in his body seemed to have a small golden crow living in the depths of its core. They were like small suns containing eternal energy. He was able to unleash great power with every move he made. Once he refined all the energy in these cells, he would most likely become the true golden crow of hell, ruling over all living beings in the world. Crash. Xiaoping revolved the true essence within his body, causing it to flow through his meridians. As this true essence flowed, it seemed to faintly form the shape of a golden crow of hell, exuding an ancient, mysterious, grand mist, chaotic and hellish aura. This aura permeated the surroundings, shooting straight into the clouds and causing space to tremble. Rumble. At that moment, the entire world seemed to tremble. A huge dark cloud floated in the sky, almost enveloping an area with a radius of 1,000 miles. It was gloomy, even the sun in the sky was covered, not letting a single ray of sunlight leak through. The entire land was plunged into darkness. What's going on? Many students of Yanhuang University immediately noticed this scene, and they all cried out in shock, because this scene was simply too terrifying and bizarre. It was worth noting that with the advancement of technology, the ability to predict the weather was extremely accurate, with a success rate of 98%. It was basically impossible for the weather to suddenly turn gloomy like this. Some weather observers of Yanhuang University were also shocked, having no idea what was going on. The hair of some of the king-level experts stood on end as they sensed an extremely dangerous aura. There was a huge black cloud in the sky, which seemed to contain terrifying red lightning. It was as if a thunder god was living in the depths of the black cloud. A crack appeared in the void, as if the void had split open, and chaotic lightning seeped out from the depths, causing countless king-level experts to tremble, as if a great disaster was about to happen. As the person involved, Xiaoping felt even more terror descend upon his body, as if there was an inexplicable existence in the sky staring at him, wanting to send lightning down and completely destroy him. It was as if he was the filth of this world, and it was going to be completely cleaned. System, what happened? Xiaoping instinctively felt that this was definitely the system's doing. Otherwise, with his own strength, there was no way he could have caused such a huge impression. Host, this is the wrath of heaven. The system said. The golden crow of hell bloodline in the host's body is a powerful bloodline that does not belong to this world. It is too powerful, almost threatening the balance of this world. Therefore, the laws of this world want to completely wipe out this bloodline, and they want to send down lightning to destroy the host. What? Xiaoping's mouth twitched. He already knew that fusing with such a powerful bloodline was definitely not a good thing, but now it actually attracted the hostility of the laws, wanting to destroy him. But the host does not need to worry. The system said right now the host's strength is too weak, and the laws of this world will not treat the host as a great enemy. It will only send down the power of ordinary lightning. And most importantly, as the host's strength continues to grow, the aura of the golden crow of hell will continue to leak out, and the host will continuously receive the baptism of this world's lightning. However, once the host passes the lightning tribulation, the host will be recognized by the laws of this world, and there will be many benefits. Continuously receive the baptism of the world's lightning. Xiaoping was speechless. Didn't that mean that every time he advanced to a new realm, he would be attacked by lightning, and even the heavens wanted to strike him to death? It was fine if he passed the lightning tribulation, but what if he didn't? Wouldn't he die immediately? Rumble. But now was not the time for him to complain. The huge dark clouds in the sky turned like a real dragon turning over. Terrifying red lightning brewed, and a terrifying aura of destruction spread in the surroundings. At this moment, the entire Yanhuang University was greatly shaken. Countless students felt as if they had encountered a disaster, and if they were not careful, they would immediately be killed by the lightning. Boom! At this moment, the lightning power in the dark clouds in the sky seemed to have been brewed to the extreme. Immediately, a red lightning bolt as thick as a bucket descended from the sky. Chapter 432. Boom! When the red lightning descended, it was like the roar of a thunder god, wanting to completely annihilate Xiaoping. However, at that moment, the entire Yanhuang University's defense system was immediately activated. A huge transparent energy shield rose up and instantly enveloped Yanhuang University in all directions, protecting the entire area like an eggshell. With a bang, the red lightning smashed under the transparent energy shield. A terrifying destructive power erupted, attempting to penetrate the energy shield and attack Xiaoping. However, it was still blocked by the energy shield. Right, there's Yanhuang University's defense system here. Those lightning bolts can't hurt me. Seeing this, Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He suddenly remembered that he was in Yanhuang University. Yanhuang University was known as one of the elite cities in the human world. In order to build this city, who knew how much advanced technology had been used? It would not be an exaggeration to say that this city was the essence of technology. Even if all the powerhouses of the demon race came out, it would be impossible to capture this place in a short time. Its defense system was enough to withstand countless natural disasters. However, such an energy blockade seemed to have angered the heavens. Terrifying black clouds surged as if the thunder god was angry. It thought that the sinner had helpers and tried to protect him. This was a serious crime. Dong dong dong. In an instant, 3 red lightning bolts fell from the sky. They were as thick as buckets and extremely crazy. They smashed fiercely above Xiaoping's villa, wanting to completely penetrate the energy shield. However, it was useless. The defense of the energy shield was extremely strong. A mere 3 red lightning bolts could not penetrate it at all. They were easily offset and destroyed in the sky. However, this was just the beginning. In a breath's time, 6 red lightning bolts fell, followed by 9, 18, and 27. In the sky, countless lightning bolts danced like lightning snakes, containing a destructive aura that covered an area of Xiaoping's villa. Bang, bang, bang. Immediately, these lightning bolts collided with the energy shield. After millions of vibrations, even atoms were shattered into pieces. An earth-shattering explosion erupted like a nuclear bomb. The surrounding energy of heaven and earth was chaotic, forming a huge vortex that spread in all directions. It affected the major buildings of Yanhuang University, shattering countless glasses and making crackling sounds. Many Yanhuang University students were immediately shocked, because the area covered by the lightning was near Xiaoping's villa, which was also the ordinary student dormitory area. It naturally caused countless students to panic. What's going on? Why is there lightning in the sky attacking Yanhuang University? This is a natural disaster. Nothing like this has happened in the past hundreds of years. Why is it happening today? This is too strange. Everyone look, isn't the direction of the lightning attack the villa of the scourge Xiaoping? Holy shit, it's true. The lightning in the sky doesn't strike other places, but it specifically strikes this kid's area. It can't be. Could it be that these red thunderbolts were caused by that shit-stirrer Xiaoping? He was struck by lightning. The heavens have eyes, the heavens have eyes. That shameless Xiaoping has done too many evil things. Now, even the heavens are furious and want to send down lightning to deal with this evil scourge. Haha, serves him right. This Xiaoping deserves it. What he did was too immoral, causing the heavens to be angry and the people to resent him. Even the heavens couldn't stand it and wanted to send down lightning to strike him to death. The heavens must have heard the prayers in my heart and sent down lightning to completely eliminate this 1,000-year scourge. Tomorrow, I will go burn incense and pray to the heavens. Many students were discussing. They were all extremely excited as they watched the area where Xiaoping's villa was covered by countless thunderbolts. It was filled with a destructive aura that wanted to completely destroy Xiaoping. This kind of power, even if one was one step closer, would tear a martial artist into pieces. Many students retreated one after another, and didn't dare to approach that area at all. A group of students who had enmity with Xiaoping were in an extremely good mood. Although they couldn't kill Xiaoping, it might not be a bad thing if they could use the hands of the heavens to kill Xiaoping. They were looking forward to the appearance of Xiaoping being struck by lightning into charcoal. This matter was too big. Not only did it shock countless students, but it also alarmed the higher-ups of the school. What's going on? Red thunderbolts appeared in the sky and attacked an area of students. The power of this red thunderbolt is too terrifying. It has the power to kill a king-level expert. Quickly resist and increase the energy to resist. Otherwise, if these thunderbolts fall, they can destroy an area and cause countless deaths and injuries. It's really strange. How did these red thunderbolts appear? For hundreds of years, there hasn't been any strange weather phenomenon in this area, but now it has appeared. These red thunderbolts seem to be targeting a certain area of students. Go and take a look immediately. What's going on? Elders appeared one after another, all of them emitting extremely terrifying auras. With their bodies as the center, a terrifying domain spread out. They were all king-level experts. Originally, they were all cultivating in seclusion in the depths of Yanhuang University, but they were also awakened by the terrifying thunderbolts. They all broke out of their seclusion and looked at the huge dark clouds in the sky. Feeling the destructive energy contained in the dark clouds, all of them felt their hearts palpitate. Even though they had advanced to the king level, they still felt great respect for the heaven's might. At this moment, the dark clouds in the sky seemed to be even more furious. The descending thunderbolts were continuously blocked, which made even the heavens angry. The void cracked open, and it seemed like a black wormhole had appeared. 36 thunderbolts, 45 thunderbolts, 54 thunderbolts, and so on. Countless red thunderbolts fell like thousands of missiles exploding, bombarding Xiaoping's villa. Even though Yanhuang University's defense system was extremely powerful, it was now on the verge of collapse from the bombardment. Its energy was constantly being weakened, and there seemed to be only a thin layer of white paper left. Damn it, system. Didn't you say that only a trace of aura leaked out? So the power of the thunderbolts was very small? Why is it so terrifying now? Even if a king-level expert was here, he would probably be struck to death. The corner of Xiaoping's mouth twitched. He felt that under these thunderbolts, he was as weak as an ant. If it wasn't for Yanhuang University's defense system, he would probably have been struck to death. Because this is the first heavenly retribution, its power will be unprecedentedly great, the system said. Moreover, there's also Yanhuang University's defense system, which angered the heavens. They felt that someone was in the way, so the power of the heavenly retribution increased by more than 10,000 times. In fact, if the host was in the wild, without Yanhuang University's defense system in the way, it would be impossible for such a powerful heavenly retribution to appear by relying on the host's own strength. Hosts, be careful. If I'm not wrong, there will be another 81 thunderbolts erupting at the same time. If the host can endure it, the host will be fine this time. What? Chapter 433. Rumble. The moment the system notification appeared, dark clouds rolled in the sky, and terrifying energy boiled. 81 red thunderbolts instantly fell from the sky. Each bolt of red lightning was as thick as a water bucket. They were like flood dragons and contained an aura that could destroy heaven and earth. They bombarded the area Xiaoping was in. Even a normal king would be blasted into smithereens by the power of this lightning. At this moment, the energy shield of Yanhuang University immediately lit up. In an instant, dozens of layers of defense were set up in the sky, trying to block the red thunderbolts. Bang! 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 The red thunderbolts immediately exploded and collided with the energy shield. It was like a battle between thousands of martial arts masters. The explosion was earth-shattering, and the surrounding air was filled with billowing airflow, sweeping in all directions. With Xiaoping's villa as the center, ripples that could be seen with the naked eye immediately gushed out. Hundreds of cracks immediately appeared on the ground, and buildings were split in half, with gravel flying everywhere. With a cracking sound when all 81 red thunderbolts fell, the terrifying destructive power exploded. The transparent energy shield in the sky finally could not withstand it and was torn apart. It was like glass shattering. Pieces of the energy shield appeared, and a red thunderbolt penetrated it, falling towards Xiaoping's body in an instant. The top of the villa was immediately pierced by the terrifying power, and gravel rolled down. Dong! Xiaoping was caught off guard and was hit by the red thunderbolt. His body crackled as if millions of volts of electricity had passed through it, and the air was filled with a burning smell. Even the ground was hit by the thunderbolt, and a huge pit immediately appeared. The soil on the ground seemed to have been passed through by the electric current, and was completely charred, melting into the shape of glass. Pure Yang immortal art. Only I can't be destroyed, Pure Yang dragon. Xiaoping instinctively operated the Pure Yang immortal art in his body, and the spiritual ether in his body surged crazily, as if it had condensed into a Pure Yang dragon. The red thunderbolts descended like the god of destruction, wandering through Xiaoping's limbs and bones. It was as if thousands of thunder dragons were roaring, completely destroying every cell in his body. However, when Xiaoping operated the Pure Yang immortal art, the spiritual ether in his body went crazy, condensing into a Pure Yang dragon, and fiercely pounced forward, devouring these thunder dragons. Whoosh! Xiaoping could feel his body being struck by the red lightning. After being baptized by the lightning and thoroughly tempered, his muscles, bones, and meridians seemed to have become much stronger. Due to the lightning flood dragon swimming around, his meridians expanded continuously, doubling the size of his meridians and allowing them to contain more veritable essence energy. In that instant, Xiaoping felt that one of the infernal golden crow cells in his body seemed to have awakened. Then it was rapidly refined by his body's true essence, completely transforming into the source of life. Bang! His body was violently shaken, and boundless true essence surged through his meridians. Finally, the 13th meridian was connected, and a massive amount of true essence rumbled like a surging river. Second heaven of the martial master realm. Xiaoping could feel that his body's strength and speed had greatly increased, and the Zhen Yuan within his body had also increased by a lot. A faint shadow of a golden crow of hell appeared behind him. The surface of his body seemed to be surrounded by a dark red flame, and the ground around his feet was also burned by this flame. Even the hard rocks were burned into magma at this moment. Water vapor rose and filled the surroundings. It was like staying in hell. Have I finally passed the thunder retribution? A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. He raised his head and looked through a large hole in the ceiling of the villa. He could clearly see a huge dark cloud in the sky. At this moment, the dark cloud was no longer rolling, and a crack in the void in the depths seemed to have disappeared. The terrifying lightning power had completely disappeared between heaven and earth. It seemed that the last 81 red lightning bolts had finally exhausted the energy of the divine retribution, and the dangerous aura in the sky had also disappeared completely. In a few breaths, even the dark clouds in the sky quickly dissipated, and the original clear sky was restored. The surroundings were filled with fresh air, and it was refreshing. If it wasn't for the ruins around them and the cracks on the ground, as if it had been destroyed by a typhoon, people might have thought that nothing had happened. Fortunately, Yanhuang University's defense system blocked the red lightning. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster today. However, after the baptism of the lightning, I have gained a lot of benefits. Xiaoping clenched his fists. He could feel that after the baptism of the lightning, his body's strength and toughness had increased a lot, and his energy center had even absorbed a bit of the lightning power. After looking inside himself, he could vaguely see that there were lightning dragons swimming in the depths of his energy center, and it seemed to have resonated with the power of the lightning in the sky. If he continued to cultivate, he might be able to control the power of lightning. When that time came, it would be much easier for him to deal with the divine retribution again. This feeling. Xiaoping activated the incantation in his body. He suddenly had a thought. A golden crow of hell cell had awakened in his body, and it was absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. He infused all the true essence in his body, and the cell immediately devoured it like a whale. It was like a black hole, absorbing everything cleanly. There was no limit at all. The aura on his body was also rapidly decreasing, from the martial master realm to the martial warrior realm, the martial disciple realm, and then to the ordinary person. It was as if he had never cultivated martial arts before, and he was extremely weak. On the surface it seemed so. However, in reality, Xiaoping felt that his strength still existed. It was just that the true essence in his body was contained in the golden crow of hell cell. If he needed it, he could mobilize it at any time. Moreover, this power could be unleashed in an instant, and it was enough to shake mountains. That's amazing. If I put all the true essence in my body into the golden crow of hell cell and hide my aura, even a challenger would not be able to find out my background. Xiaoping clenched his fists, and there was a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. From another perspective, this was simply the most brilliant aura concealing technique, and he had cultivated it to an extremely high level. If an enemy saw him in this state, they would recklessly come to seek death. Then, when the time came, he would catch them off guard, and he would definitely be able to kill the careless enemy. He was a tiger in disguise. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, more than a dozen figures flew in the sky above the villa. All of them emitted an aura that was as deep as the abyss, as if they were gods walking in the air. All the cells in Xiaoping's body tensed up, as if he was facing a formidable enemy. He immediately knew that these figures were challenger powerhouses. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.